Thank you, thank you. Let us start. Molweni kaphindi. Um, Our commission was tasked to deal with one or two questions. The questions that we had to deal with, they are supposed to pave a way for the strategic session and the action plan for next financial year. So we raised two questions in the main, which were formulated as such. Do the current policies, programs, budget, and services reach all young people equitably? Going on to geographical location, academic qualification, political allegiance. And the second question was, do the institutional arrangements hinder or advance progress in terms of youth development? So these questions were made to trigger the commission that we have to come up with a number of challenges around these questions and then come up with solutions of how they're gonna be dealing with the problems that they have actually brought up and highlighted. So all these problems, or maybe even the solutions thereof, will be formulating what will be their action plan moving on to next financial year, and maybe even guiding the whole of a youth forum in terms of what are the programs or critical programs that you need to look at that will actually have an impact in yourselves being a committee just for probably the next financial year alone. And with these programs, they'll be further crafted, looking at budget issues and the like. But we also looked at the fact that government does not have huge fiscus to ensure that you've got continual programs, month to month or day to day. You need to understand that within the confines of this forum, you are still appointed to do your day-to-day duties, which means that you have an overall duty of ensuring that whilst you need to do what you are employed for, there's an added aspect of you carrying out programs of the Youth Forum. The partnerships will be encapsulated by the presenter on who you'll be partnering with. I don't want to steal his thunder, but it was very much critical to understand that programs will not be continuous. And this will be a program each month, but the programs that are existing within the department, you make it a point that you are part of those programs and you're making a huge impact within those programs as well. And where there are programs that are driven by youth as a forum, you'll be able to have a yearly plan, and maybe from a regional perspective, from these points that have been drafted, abanye bazawuqala ngenye aspect, abanye bazawuqala ngenye. You will not all start with the same program, kule plan of action yenu, but in its entirety, it is things that the youth that we're sitting with believe are critical for the youth to look at and actually ensure that if we are able just to deliver on these minor issues, then we'll be able to reach a larger consensus of what we want to achieve as the Youth Forum Ilapa. There were issues that were very touching. I saw some people wanted to become emotional when we were sitting there and probing certain issues. It really means that what we are touching on is really closer to home in most of us. And you'll find that izoqala ihilishe thina before we get to heal the constituency that you guys will be leading. In your various regions, you'll be calling young people, you'll be informing them of the programs that you'll be embarking on, which will formulate your greater plan on the next financial year. But I think once you start these programs, you will find that kuthiwa xa ngelinye ixesha ucinga unceda omnye umntu, but you are also helping yourself at the same time because you're growing in understanding and knowing what you need to do. So with those words, let me allow the presenter for the group session that we have to come forward. Fundis. Cela usondele tata. Sicela i-connection.
Move on his slides, move on the mouse.
Yes,
And move his slide, move on your mouse, can you corner land? Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. Good morning, colleagues and fellow youth. Dienda hijack this morning, so uba ndibhudile ningaqhatheki Mr. Sanando te uba uyabhuda abantu ubashiya be confused, so please don't be confused. From the breakaway sessions, Mr. Nkwencha has touched a bit of the structure, how we did it. So there were a couple of things to go through zona, and from the points from the group, I'll just elaborate further kuzona. So one of the points that we touched on was youth unemployment. And youth unemployment, it has a massive ripple effect. Ingaveli drop youth unemployment, but the massive things it affects, it goes to zonke as points that will be elaborated on further. Mhlambi nale group ilandela izabe itoucha kuzo, but the core fumansibana ipago youth unemployment. So those were some of the things that we touched on izolo. Like I mentioned, ubana izawuphinde ke ngoku itouch into as a gender-based violence, because once you don't have money, and as man okanye as male, iye ibe khona lanto, that sense of entitlement, because we have that ego that is natural, and if it's directed ngendlela right, iye ibe positive. But ke ngoku nxa ifika ubroke unala ego and umntu wakho right, obviously. So zinto ezinjalo, and ke ngoku I will come to the solutions indlela yobana how do we then mitigate these things, sizovele sizifake ngoku in a proper structure with timelines and everything. Department ka Mr. D lena ingase bendine pointer, but if you look at the first two graphs, that's mathematics. Bonisile nestats ubana nxa beqala grade 1 uya phako grade 3, they're excited about maths. Beza bene lamdla ukwenza homework nomama bana 1 + 1 is equal to 2. But what happens when they get to high school? It's a matter of the attitude. Aba bantwana bakho dom, yabona indlela bebeperforma ngayo when they were grade 3. But it's the attitude towards the subject, it's the attitude towards as a subject which was yoyikwa maths ne science nentontoni. So that's another point ebesesathatha kuyo bana nyani, there's a lot of work that must be done, because once this graph siyeke ibenje iqhubeke isehla those two other dark graphs at the end, lesa slide sokuqala ebesisithi 34%, it's gonna go, that's already outdated. Nxa sithi 34, it's already sitting close to 50 ngoku. So what are the solutions? From the group we said that we're going to be partnering, because as izinto sizothetha ngazo, they are already there. We're not going to be reinventing the wheel, but implementation the problem. And ke ngoku nxa usiya uyi-individual masande, you're knocking at the office yakwa DPWI, no one is going to listen to you. Ungubani wena? Are you permanently employed? Because those are some of the things. If you're on contract, well, who's going to listen to you? But Ngasi Youth Forum, we are a body. We are a structure that is recognized. We can knock on any door. In fact, uchairperson of the region, I think we are at the office of the HOD. amanyelwe nxa ifika phayana. So what we planned ubana sizawuyenza ke ngoku going into the new financial year sizothi there are these organizations esizos approacher to collaborate and partner with. Some of them are internal. Umzekelo, we go to EPWP, we're going to be addressing indaba ye upcourt. We sit with them, we say, guys, what plan do you have for 2023? Where can we chip in and assist as the youth forum? We go to HRD. HRD, busy, Mr. D, you don't have enough time to touch and reach the target. Yabantwana ofuna ukuba reach at the end of the year. Where can we chip in and come in and help? Wellness, my sister spoke about siyagowa. Ubhuti bengesintu izolo indlela yobana phay office yami kuthiwa bayagowa siyagowa. Then nxa umuntu seyigowa manyani, it gets to a point. Mr. Nkwencha was sharing a very touching story yesterday. A city, one of his colleagues babe emngcwabeni wakhe, and that individual was murdered by a partner. So these azenzeki pha, they're not far-fetched, zenzeka upper in the department. So if we go to wellness and say, wellness, of course you should have programs as Dilishana with this thing, but how can we then market them for you? How can we then assist you so that it's very effective? There's men's forum because it kalapha kuthi botata lento. If we don't address the mindset of a man, because ikalapha engqondweni uya meditate kuyo hlele endlini unemployed stay home dad umama uyophanda, that ego iye ifike ivuke ke ngoku. And if siyakwazi uthetha nazo zo zinto kwi forums okanye settings like ebuhlanti, I know settings ezinjalo where we can address this thing and say it is okay as a man to be in a situation efana naleyo, ade umuntu angenza izinto azozregreta at the end of the day. And then some of the external organizations, we can also partner with them. There are NPOs that do what we wish to do, Tina. Because we don't have the time and the resources and everything, we can say, how about we knock on the doors of these NPOs and say, guys, let's push this mandate. Let's push this thing. Umzekelo, kulanda ye upcourt or EPWP, there is sitters that do trainings for free. We can invite them to say, okay, galenyanga siya kwidepo ethile, they're going to be training on this skill or on that skill, on entrepreneurship or starting companies or all of those things. And then private businesses. Mr. Nkwencha, I think one of the speakers spoke about 70-30. Ubana e-projects, 70% will be outsourced because we haven't reached that capacity for major projects. Those companies, we tap into them to say, you will be mentoring so much graduates or so much ntonton, okanye whatever. Ngelo ndlela bona capacity yabe bavumelayo bana they can put under their wing. Correctional services, umzekelo, abantu bayoyika okanye bacima fanba abavumelekanga ba umuntu ayobambisa partner yakhe or something like that. So if we can invite such organizations that just to give awareness, they're not saying do this or do this, but just to trigger nje land yocinga bana, hey, there is a way out of this thing. I cannot die alone descending. Then some other organizations, besesathetha ngazo, or Love Life, not gender mainstream, just for them to come and just share stories and insights so that abantu bayazi bana zikhona indawo zoncedo. And that's it from our side. Thank you so much.
Where's the questions? Zikona questions that we have related to the discussion. Okay. Colleagues, we've just had input. Kaupindu uvule eza slides zakho ungahambi. We've just had i-commission yokuqala. I-commission yokuqala is pointing us that inwardly as youth, one of the program of action should be derived from internal existing programs. I think HRD, PWP, and so forth, which means a program of action as the commission would then come from linkages and collaborations of youth within the existing programs. For example, nitengo EPWP, HRD, Wellness and Men's Forum. Ndicela ngokusisathetha ngesi slide sokuqala inwardly. Sizawuthetha nangezinye ndinikeze i-platform yokushare okanye nityebise this presentation. Okanye nifuna sizithathe zoyi-2 as commissions. Sityebise zoyi-2 as commissions. That's how you want it. Nicimba ngakho duplication. Okay. Mandike ndibe ndikuchophisa kancinci awumke ama commissioner ahlala la. Masicela i-commission yesibini izopresenta so that we can therefore interchangeable discuss the two inputs from the commissions. How do we align? Where are the gaps so that sikwazi uconsolidate kakuhle? Iza baba. 2 minutes. Okay. Eh? Okay. Nazi ke colleagues solutions eziproposwayo ngokwaseza ngaphambili. Ayi namhlanje isengxakini kulo shepherding. Thank you.
Molweni colleagues. Paku IPWP. Mina ngendlela engibona ngayo engathi singancedisana kakhulu naye in comes to his student. Ngoba ikhona kona inkinga ekhona. And into enzekalayo bayathembisa ngezinto kodwa bangazifezi. Umzekelo sine student esinazo eDepo but inoba ezinye zazo zizophuma kwicontract ngo azikaze zithole iuniform. Sizama ngayo yonke indlela ukuncedisana nabo sithenjiswe nabo bathenjiswe mabezama kodwa akuziphumeleli zonke ezo zinto. So uma ngabe ngenzeka ke iPWP ancedisane nathi ngoba nathi sizozama kangokukhuluma nabo basithembisa izinto bese bazigqibe. Singakhulumi into basithembise bese bangazenzi. Ngiyabonga.
PWP that the program doesn't seem sustainable. So as a youth, nifuna ukuncedisana nabo ne such that there is sustainability.
Thank you. Ma'am, I actually wanted to say there's going to be quite a few duplications with the two. There's going to be, because actually I'm well aware of his presentation and we.
I've seen this way long, but there's a presentation.
Sure.
Mike, I've seen Dank. Let's allow you. Thank you. To present.
Thank you, ma'am. Yo. Once again, good morning, colleagues. Kunzima ulandela emva komshumayeli. Preachers know how to present the best, but yeah. Today, colleagues, ours was simple. Who are we? And what do we seek? We seek change. We seek transition. Tomorrow, today, right now. Like I said, ikamalam de umalbongwe. Dengo wakwasinima nunganibuzi ithendine funny Africans. Kodwa ke yeah, ndingosesera partman. As a department, nanjengoba utata bebechila izolo no Mr. Was it Mr. Kufa? That the department was predominantly male dominated. Abantu abadala, but yeah, akuthiwa umuntu omdala man, umatured, bekuchiwa apha, seasoned, well seasoned. So we as the youth right now, we seek to reinvent that. We seek to make it a trend to be in the construction, to have it ibe into that's appealing to young people, because Mr. Nkwenja made it clear izolo ukuthi young people are willing to work, and this narrative yokuthi our young black South Africans are lazy, we can do away with it, because we now face with this a narrative when Mr. D ukuthi when niyazigxotha foreigners but niyonqena, anifuna ufama, anifuna ukwenza lena. No, we are not lazy, but people are not informed. People are not educated. We seek to integrate young people. Babe ngabantu abayithandayo nabayithakazelelayo into yoba construction, as well as property management. And this is something Mr. D mentioned izolo ukuthi there is no bambala abantu abaqualified professionals within properties. So the people that are there as professionals, we need to promote that. We need to understand abantu bethu abekho phayana, and we need to change that. We need to reach a paradigm shift in that line of thinking. So sizayenza njani? It's well and good to say izinto, but how are we going to do them? Let's introduce ourselves to combat the idea yokuba construction yabantu abalambayo, construction ekusetyenzwa nzima pha uzawuxeba. In fact, I'm one of the people that say emajiteni, hey bras, xa uphumile econtrakeni uyawakhulula ama-safety uyibeke phansi reflector uyobabhizi nabo nice. You know, so we need to make this thing trendy. We need to make this thing ibe relevant to who we are as young people. Hey guys, I'm from PE. Dingumfana se Motherwell, guys, and the way I speak is indicative of that. I'm sorry. So yeah, we want to make these changes. Ukuthi siyenze unemployment ingabikho in our society, because akekho umuntu ongafuni ukukhanyisa isibane kowabo, akekho umuntu ongafuni kube khona change kowabo. And if you like me, you've come from a background ethi kunzima ngoku and I have to ndibe indoda ndiqine umqolo. You want that light. You when that change happens in your life, you want to have it and keep it sustainable ekhayeni. And xa kupeya wena kucace kupeya indoda but ke kupeya nosisi. Yeah, so what do we want? We want a healthy working environment. We want support for the current bursary holders. A healthy working environment, kumnandi ukwazi madam dokuba in our offices sinabo abantu abafana noluleka baka wellness, but in a building where that houses about 140, 160 people, employees, abe one waka wellness kanye babe two. It's too much work. So more wellness professionals need to be placed in there, for even not necessarily psychometric analysis of employees, but however we need to support the wellness department to be able to be of effective support to the employees. Kwanze be employees uzokwazi uthetha lento endiyithethayo into yoba gents kumnandi kwi-construction and osisi bathi ezi zinxibe reflector ne-hard hat ziyabheja so so guys, if you follow me, I follow social media a lot. So So these are things that is bonai social media. Oh, kuthiwa siyabheja. Oh, okay. So nami ndinxibe le reflector. Ndibeze photo ndifake ihead yam. Kucaca uba yeah, ndiko construction. Noba mina ke ndingumzalwane insincere. Kodwa ke yeah. Is support for the current bursary holders. It was made very clear. Umama said something about it. Peer pressure needs out there. We can't run away from it. Whether mdala, whether because nabazali bethu banayo peer pressure because umabani ufake ikhawushe ezintsha so nawe ufuna ezintsha. So peer pressure ipheli guys. Peer pressure into teenagers. So ngoku kufakwe ufike endlini zonke bak extendiwe kwi1 estratweni zonke ze extendiwe iFacebook. So peer pressure ipheli. So we need to manage these things. We need to go to those students as Sevasit and help support them with a transition yabo. With the changes because everything is available. The booze is available. Utshwala available. Imali because they find ways around in those bursaries. Ndoba I'm make an extra cash ngiyapha. Ngizocela kumalume ubani imali ethile. So we need to mentor them. We ayazi ndoba when I expect ngando kuye and awuzomnika ngando, but you maintain your boundaries and be a form of discipline. Sifuna education. Okanye sifuna uba educator. Career expose. Sifuna here's what I believe. Kune group yabantu unemployed right now, engekho qualified. Abanye bazmeet requirements, right? Abanye bayazmeet, abanye bazmeet, abanye they dropped out. But ndiyeza kule dropouts nalabantu ndithetha ngabo. But if I truly believe ndokuba ukuba ngabana siqala from grassroots. Lamdana before I select subject afuna uzenza at grade 9 or whatever, but before lamdana select subject, you influence lamdana azazi usebenzela to what goal. I really believe ndokuba career expose shouldn't be for aiming at matriculants. But career exposed should be aiming at grade 8 and grade 9s. Sibaxelele what career options are out there. Because lower ngoku sekhethe history nobuyayithanda lento yoba yiQS. Man, Uncle Shannon is doing it, but I'm already doing history and I'm not doing math. So isn't out there. A path is already set. So we need to educate them from a tender age. And we need to conscientize them with these career options. Kwa age esezantsi ne levels esezantsi. Ne second chances, dropouts. We need to talk to dropouts. We need to devise strategies. Options as fana ne AppCod. AppCod ne NYS are there for such options. For such people, ndoba be empowered. Okay. Second chances are there for such people in EPWP as a department. So we need to let people know. I believe. Yes, Switzerland. Okay. I believe abantu ne ba. Department is effective. Department is I believe in it because they are born. However, does the community know about these things? Are we reaching out to our community? Are we telling our people about these things? Are we communicating with them? Are we transforming us in the manner that we are reaching out to them? Sithethe nabo. My next point. Is transforming the department to conform to fourth industrial revolution. Fourth industrial revolution ke madam benthemna apha izolo isignature thile xa kufuneka ndisayine itinerary funeka ndise ubani nobana sign here's always a stiflish progress. Like, we as young people are bored with that. That thing is boring. That thing is slowing progress. Sometimes in the excitement, when the inspection in the and then try ubanageko to sign. These things are stifling processes umsebenzi. So we need to get on with the times. Even if banks are doing this, we need to move on with the times. We need to funeka sibe leaders within the industries. Indaba ye fourth industrial revolution singayivithethwa pha. Funeka nathi si understand. When I submit my report, there's a certain format which we already have, but now we need to see streamline into our lifetime, into our lifestyles. Singabantu abatsha. Moving on. But how do we do these things? For employment, to create employment, like I said, we need career expos. We need to teach children. We need to educate them. We need to. I'm going to sound repetitive now again, but we need to communicate more. But more importantly, we need collaborations. We need collaborations with other departments. We need collaboration with NYDA, because nathi funeka sazi into ba ukuba ngabana ndizawuya kumntana entrepreneur. How do I help him? How do I tell him about NYDA kusetyenzwa njani? How do I, because now, so it means then awupheleli kule nto uyenzayo emsebenzini wakho. You need to go broader. You need to go beyond. As a service, as a public servant, you need to know into kwenzeka ntoni kwezinye departments. Awukwazi uba narrow-minded, concentrate into ba hayi mnispec ndistayipile ndigqibile ndilindele supply chain assign and then appoint a contract. It doesn't end there. Again, ndithetha ngohlonitanga because the inspect. So it doesn't end there being just an inspector. It doesn't end with just being a QS. Also, financial education. Once you help these kids, bayifunde le nto bayifunayo. Bazifumane izinto bazifunayo. Siyaphangela ngoku, sinemali ngoku. Do you know how to manage your money? Do you know how to stay out of debt? So, do you know how to stay out of a bad influence? Kat December, get December, boss. How are you managing your funds? Are you in debt in debt review now? Moving on, job satisfaction. Are you satisfied emsebenzini? How do you maintain your mental health? How do you stay afloat when psychologically? That is important. Because Shannon there was a lifeguard. We were talking on our way here. Uthi xana mna ndiyonceda umntu emanzini ndiqale ndimnokhe out ndimbethe alale and then ndimgxwaye because I can't afford udrowna naye. Do you know how to help the next person without drowning yourself? So, yeah, so we need to reinvent who we are psychologically. Support to bursary holders, like I said. I think isn't this needs in this balile. Oh yeah, we need to digitize the department. That thing, register now. It needs to go, guys. I'm sorry. I think the last thing and the important thing is, one, we cannot overlap as in stakeholders. We need to go beyond the scope of our practice as the department, as the youth, right? And if we are able to do that, we are able to say, nangumhlaba, ayinanto kwenza ne construction, abantu bale community bayalamba, youth yale community yalamba. Let us buy imbewu, baplant. And then Mr. Nkwenja made a beautiful scenario. But Woolworth or Pick and Pay, babenendo to sustain themselves. That has nothing to do with construction. However, we need to be careful. Singa overlay with boundaries ga agriculture. We need to be able to work in collaboration with that department. And as youth, we need to take accountability. We need to hold each other accountable. We need to be who we are. Sihlale sizazi into yokuba sizawunceda abantu ngendlela yakho kule ndawo kuyo. I don't know if you can libalayo noma kwezi, but the last but not least, Marianne Williamson said our deepest fear is not adequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Thank you.
For the presentations that you've made, and to the members of those commissions for the summary of the work niyenzileyo. Colleagues, we've had the two presentations, correctly so, reflecting inwardly of what needs to be done, and reflecting outwardly on what they think should be areas of collaboration and strengthening the internal and external contribution of the forum into the programs. Mhlawumbi ke manditi, from these discussions, because you were two commissions sitting at different angles, nine assumptions on the discussions that were different but merging to some communal issues. Mhlawumbi kuvulela indlu into yoba ngxaka andizokwazi ukuzivula zombini sisimane sithi, but you get the gist. Why singavuleli indlu sithi just add on those discussions. I think currently they've presented that is high level summary of the discussions that would form a basis of the action plan, as we are saying. But mhlambe assisting now colleagues zethu that would be crafting on your behalf the practical steps that would be an action plan out of the key issues that you've lifted. So mhlawumbi ke kuncedisana nendlu into yoba how do you therefore lift those issues internally, mhlawumbi mandincedise nam ukutyebisa in some of those things so that nithi ningena. For example, you've lifted that internally. You've got existing programs, your EPWP, your HRD programs, your wellness programs, immense forum, ne? Ndingongeza mna ndithi besides those empowerment aspects, your HRD, we also have your whole scattered SMM, let's just say areas where also youth, I don't know whether I would say it's SMME or it's all empowerment programs within the department. We'll talk procurement. Ne? There is a percentage in terms of the APP. There are targets in terms of the contribution to local suppliers or the procurement that we do in terms of the various categories. So the youth play a role. So in terms of procurement, I think we can add because that's another collaborative area where you need to go sit and have strategies with SCM and work with them within their databases to see how many of those are youth. Is there struggles in youth in particular gradings such that the youth are not visible or cannot ndenza umzekelo ke mna ndenzela uba xa singene ni broader nge-APP. If you go to the target, I think pakwa HRD ifita kuwene, but also ifita not necessarily HRD, the youth employment aspects, even the youth in SMS. I think there are percentages that are expected, Kabalala, in terms of the APP. So if you look at the APP, I'm just saying the role therefore is that over and above as areas lifted. I think it would be nice for you to take the departmental APP and just sift all the areas so that when you then do the program of action in those programs, you have holistically captured the various areas from various departments. IQ department member, I space within the youth. And lastly, even the SPU themselves, which is where you are seated. Melba ni pushe nina, niti when we do external and internal programs, what are impactful programs? So that Classic City, we've got 10 targets, and 4 of those targets are youth programs. What are those programs? And so forth. So, colleagues, Ben Senza Lanjindoba, the APP of the department should be a rider so that you don't leave any area untapped into that particular space, so that you can have a consolidated program. And those are the 2 presentations. Let's assist in beefing up the content of the practical action plans or steps that when we do the action plan over and above, those that would be sitting on your behalf, niba party sayona, that those are the issues that they must consider as well under the big headings. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm just going to elaborate and actually add on to what our 2 gentlemen have said. Firstly, we as the forum, or we as the youth, and we in this room as it is now, we firstly have to set the example. Let's lead with our actions, not just empty words, empty promises. Because at the end of the day, there's people that depend on us, not just our immediate family, but our fellow countrymen. At the end of the day, we're here to give a service. Now, let's bring back dignity to our people at the end of the day. Let's be present. The one thing I actually agree with is accountability. Because if we don't take accountability, and if we don't lead, the next generation, those after us, they don't have anything to look up to, so they're just gonna carry on, and it's gonna get worse. Then that's where the moral compass tends to decay. So we have to take action. So let's lead. So let's start with the small things. Okay, let's not mention time. Let's leave that for now. It's for another day. But let's be present. Let's be on time. Let's show that, okay, we can do better. We want to do better. Otherwise, we're never going to get the platform that we deserve. Because in that same breath, we are asking, give us more. Give us the resources. Let's address the issues. But we need to start at home. Charity starts at home. So let's start there. Then, from there on out, it's simple. Let's let it be tangible. Let's let it be visible. Let's be seen. So then if we're seen, we are heard in that same breath. So that's literally a plea that I will have for us as the youth in Ho. Thank you.
Colleagues, Nanso, I think you're capturing, ne? Because we will say out of the presentation, this is overall, that then supplements that presentation, so that all forms part of aligning those areas with what the colleagues have said.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. On both presentations, I'd like to, I guess, to comment or add on those partnerships with the in-house organizations as well as the NGOs. To applaud that the wellness partnership. I think it would be really best effective with this youth forum being hands-on, especially when the other speaker from OR Tambo mentioned that the youth forum needs budget, because currently at wellness there is less, I don't want to say no, there's less budget, especially when health professionals have to be procured that are external to provide support to whatever that has been referred. It gets difficult without the budget. So I do believe and I hope that the Youth Forum will be very effective on that part. And also in challenging the policies that are with regards to the rehabilitation of employees, because they are only given 21 days, which so far has not been that much effective, because it gives them very less time to be rehabilitated, and they end up relapsing just after a few months they have returned to work. And I would also like to place an emphasis on the Men's Forum partnership. Because I think it would play a very vital role, especially with regards to the black society men, because they find it difficult to elaborate on their inner beings to someone else, especially with females, because the wellness practitioners of the department, most of them are females. There's only one male in the region, which is Joe Gaibi, so the less is females. So the men's forum will play a very vital role. However, in our region, there is no men's forum currently. It does not know that one is is not effective. I think their time has lapsed. We won't have youth forum that is in action. So I pray that, and I do believe that the forum will put time frames into the actions that they have provided, so that we can see these actions brought to life sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think she is expanding on the collaborations, clearly articulating what are the key issues and the challenges within those particular forums and issues that would assist to address ilanka issues of youth. So if ndimva kahle, colleagues, it also, there is some sense of saying even how we craft these particular forums. Yo uxolo lokuthiwa ndisereyidweni kanene apha, so kumele uba ndizama uthetha ngale thetha ngale funa uthetha ngale ndinikwe no ndifuna le ndinikwe kuthiwa mandiyifake epokothini ndithethe ngayo 4IR. So I'm just saying, colleagues, I think we should flag that there, that even if wellness is crafting an agenda, okanye the representation, it means the youth must be represented there, so that you can, from the structure, influence the agenda within wellness that will talk to issues of ilanka, so that structures zibe available and be servicing the various consequences. So because we normally just send the representation without thinking hinterland. There are women, there are men's forums, there are youth. Uthatha nje ubune pressure ubhala igama lomuntu without applying. Sengizovele ngihambe kanje. Yeah.
Good morning. I just want to speak on the candidacy part. My issue is with HRD. I'd like HRD, ne? They say that they pay for a 4-year course, and that these people have to do a 4-year candidacy, what. I'd like them to make it a point that they stick to that 4 years, because you are closing opportunities for other people that you give bursaries to. Because now we have people who have been in office for the longest time, and there is no new intake for abantu who have been doing bursaries in the past years. Maybe we get 1 or 2. And I'm sure you don't give bursaries to 1 or 2 people. So I would like them, in as much as they want to make sure that youth is employed, I think they're also closing that gap by renewing contracts 20 times, which doesn't make sense to me. Yabo? So can you please make it a point, if you say a person studied for 3 years, make it a point that the candidacy program lasts for 3 years, no extension, so that we can get new intakes. And I saw something about information sharing for the youth. I'd also like that people who apply have a problem with their CVs. So when there's adverts, I'd like that, I don't know, maybe even if it's us or recruitment, we go to these different areas, we help them apply, like pull in the ZD3, and we tell them to attach this and this and that, because those people, you see that it's written by I have this and this and this, but then it's not there. Or they give like small information, which is really useless. So I'd like us to help them with that. But my biggest issue is the candidacy part, please.
Thank you very much. I think capture the inputs. You will refine when you get to plug to various areas. Dixie?
Molweni, colleagues. Kunoluvuyo from Esara Batmandu Tetai. Benfuna nje just to comment, nje kancinci, just to add something on. Kule party ye GBV, ne? And also the men's forum or the boys to men society forum. I would like, when we go back as a youth forum, when you go back home, to also involve and engage with women and the girls. Because shame, otata bayakhala, bathi nathi siyabakroka. Abotata siyabamosha thina kuqala. So, lando ye-GBV, iye nathi sibe nayo i-affection kuyo. Because siyabaqala otata babantu torho. That's why umuntu ongutata ke naye ayeke aphelele ebuyisa naye kuye kuthiwe ke ukuba na uqhuba i-GBV. So let us please also engage omama to say, please guys, how can we stop from home, from families, this GBV? See, otata singabe sibaqala kunye nathi. That's all, Nkosi.
Colleagues, ke iti silently, we tend to promote that GBV is one-sided, but there are minority elements. So we need, while you push the other side, ukwazi udilishana with the other side, so that kube kwi balance. Nivile mosandizuphinde ndiyilande. So let's not think in the room there is a man who doesn't go the same GBV. So let's try and balance our program such that we address other things. Khalela ninga andintsibi yazi babe ngifuna uthetha qha. It's fairness that ungabikho rose ishiyayo sizapha ngoku.
Inkosi mem ngumfundo lona from Yamathole. But ke i-college sezibekile ezinye izinto bendinazo phansi. But okokuqala I want to add nje kweza presentation besinazo i-issue ye-substance abuse emsebenzini, especially i-youth. I think ifuneka ibe khona i-outline ibe clear. Colleagues, kule issue ye professional services sisasandothetha ngayo, ndicela because if sithi sizawumane si renew issue contracts okoko okanye usisi uthi maziyekwe, Yeah, issue, I think issue funeka sihlalele phansi siyithethile kahle because aba bantu sibakhupha sithi mabahambe baphinde bayokongeza kule unemployment rate ikhoyo apha eSouth Africa. How about i-department i-create i-post for aba bantu bahlale be-permanent? Yabo, kuleyo issue naloo nto. Iyafana ke mem nelentuke naleya kwa-DPWI because we take people in, siyabathatha sibasa kwi-trainings, babane-trade test, then after siphinde siyabakhupha phandle. Bayokongeza again inani or else baqeshwa zezinye departments. Not sithi apha ngaphakathi, and yet sithi asina-capacity, but still we want to sibakhuphe abantu. So yenye issue nje nayo leyo mina mem, I think we need to just look at it clearly. Si elaborate more even kuyo lo. Thanks.
Okay, Nkosi, I think seni articulate some agenda within the various programs. It means ke akuzulalwa ko IPWP nixoxana ni crafter strategies zoku strengthenisha and sustain the existing programs.
Inkosi ma'am. I hope ababhali bethu bebebhala because 20 notice leyo ku presentations i-points ezibufana. Umzekeli kukho i-issue ye second chance for i-drop out. Bekho into ye maths pass rate. If we can combine those things, at least mhlawumbe they will fall under education. So that xa siphuma up sibe ne sort of declaration intoba ukwenzela uba le leadership izawungena iyazi uba kukhona i-declaration eyenziwe apha, i-role yayo izoba kuyo implementa loo declaration, so that le gathering ingabi yo talk show, siyazi uba kukho i-program efuneke iyokwenziwa. Secondly, youth ndiya understand but I think we must also consider immediately graduates say youth. Kukho abantu baba over 35 years badala but bancinci, so they are a missing middle. And then in all these policies ezikhoyo in South Africa akho nto ikheitharisha bona, bahlele estratweni, frustrated. Some of them graduate sebe badala, sebe over 35 years. Yabo. So internships if as ba caterish ndicinga sizobe sivulela crisis. We saw what happened in KZN go July last year. It might happen even in our province. So I think the department must also consider abo bantu. I think that's all.
Thank you. No. Hey, why it's a busy?
Molweni, Msondo lo from Amaton. Ndifuna ungena pha ku-EPWP. La program kwa-ICDP. La youth iphayana iyabethakala kakhulu when funeka ifilishe i-documents. Although ndiyazi uba bayazenzela i-training. But ye kufumaniseka into i-project siyikhanselisha 4 times. I-compliance iyababetha. Although bezenzelwa i-training zelento ze-local content nezinye izinto but benibawela ke ngokuba u-ICDP akaqiniseke kwabafana la youth iphayana. Because ke ngoku phaya emathole asikwazi ubanceda thina sizi-SEM practitioners asivumelekanga. And ayikho i-office pha phezulu kwa-EPWP ezaziyo into ezidibene ne-document nento how to bafuneke babancedise njani. So ndiyabawela bekhona umuntu ozamane bancedisa abafana la youth. Enkosi.
Nkosi kakhulu, I think the program okanye the practical action is clear there.
Nkosi ma'am, malweni igama lam ndinguZiyanda from eJoqabi. Mandiqale ndisondele kumba othi probably uzochaphazela i-men's conference but because izawuchaphazela kakhulu i-youth. Sinengxaki esinayo kwinto ye-mental health nabantu abangootata okanye obhuti. La nto ubhuti uzawugowa and then akakwazi ukuphalaza komnye ubhuti ukuthi unale ngxaki okanye xa kufuneke eyofumana uncedo professionally like uzawujongeka njengomntu ongathi uweak kula term ithi indoda ayikhali, then it affects into ethi ke ngoku izawusichaphazela emsebenzini kwi-performance yakhe because unalento anayo and that mhlawumbi lento uzawuzama ukuyilentuza ngotywala ne umzekelo xa under influence uzawufuna nangomso aphinda be under influence because that problem lamgo adilishana nawo awukahambi ne. So I think kubalulekile, I'm not saying omama abagoyi, but xa uzawuthetha ukuthi usithi no, I went to a professional because ndine problem ethile, then thina like asibenalanto ingathi inokukujaja nyana okanye sukujongela ngongathi ungumuntu oweak. I think kubalulekile nakhona zesibe kunokuyiqaphela iya affecta kakhulu. And then ndicela ukusondela ku-EPWP. IPWP kuna programs zabo and that kuna ababantu bebekade bepeya ku-PESAL but bakhutshwa ku-PESAL then bapeya post office. There's a challenge there e-post office nento ye-payment. It's either from eJoqabi, e-Stakespruit, i-post office kuzothi ivaliwe ne ayisebenzi or i-network yathintini. Alwal North, from Stakespruit to Alwal North, I think it's 100 rands ukukhwela ukuya khona. I-return it's 200 rands. So uyopeya Alwal North, ufike Alwal North kuthiwa bekungene amaphara kwa-1 point wakuvaliwe. Uyayibo laa mntu ukhwele ngemali uyibolekile laa mali. I-Burger Stop ikude, i-Jamestown ikude, awuyazi into ye-network ukuya e-Burger Stop okanye e-Jamestown if ikhona okanye i-post office ivuliwe. Is there a plan i-department, i-PWP specifically ayenzayo to transport ababantu to ezi zinto okanye ayo duty yakhe ukubana athathe ababantu base kwezi ndawo kupeywa kuzo? Kula challenge ukuthi i-post office ngoku ivaliwe, then lo mntu uzawupeya phi? Lo mvuzo bayarenta ngawo bayakhwela ukuya emsebenzini. Ndiyabulela ma'am.
Enkosi, I think we're saying we are intervening. Tophe pokothweni. Bese uthethile? Kontos bhale up. I think, colleagues, I think it's saying here, sithi siqotha ikati eziko, but we're also contributing to the same stress ebantwini bethu. I think that point is a point that we also have to flag under the heading EPWP. But generally, how are we responding to that program in the manner that she's put it, without me saying much, the issue of the post office, the intervention as EPWP, challenge, as EPWP coordinating body in the province, as coordinator and abanyo EPWP kwezinye department, what role are we playing, Tina, to ensure we come with practical strategies? If the post office doesn't work, what influence can you, as a structure, nisebenzisana EPWP, look at alternatives okanye the issue of the post office? Molweni, icofe apho.
Gulwandlekazi from OR Tambo. Colleagues, anamazwi amaninzi. Andiyazi uba ndingayibeka kanjani, anamane question okanye ngumbono uba ungenzeka kanjani when it comes to education abantwana. Into encinci khanda nozothi ndizoba secaleni okanye ndizokwenza kanjani. Kukhona la dictionary yayikhona kuqala ifike ibhala i-English nesiXhosa ne-Afrikaans ngoku yaqala. I think I know inganzima le endifuna ukuyiveza. Xa kunoba abantwana kwalapha ekuqaleni besafunda apha ezantsi ayazi lento ngokolwimi lakhe uba uthetha ngantoni lento ayifundayo. Inoba ingabancedisa kakhulu ekukhuleni kule mfundo yabo athi efika nakwela bangala loba akhethe phaya high school ntoba yintoni akayithandayo akazoqhuba nayo abe ezazi lento athetha ngayo ngoba ndiprove into eninzi kum ngoku ndimdala ezinye izinto bendiyazazi ngeEnglish but bendingazazi bazithini ngesiXhosa even ndilapha apha kwa public works kungona ndizazi ngoku ezinye izinto ba no bendingazi uba kuthethwa ngalento apha kodwa bendiyazi ngoku ya qha ndingazi uba yiyonke kule xa ndiyithetha ngesiXhosa icaciswa ngesiXhosa so I think laa nto ingabancedisa abantwana ukuchuza icareer yakhe into yoba ufuna ntoni nawe uzombona ngoku ekhula into yoba uyayazi le life orientation ibithetha ngantoni xa isesiXhoseni sakhe qha ndazi noba inganzima kangakanani xa noncediswa yi-youth andazi uba singancedisa njani. Enkosi.
Colleagues, I think under ingongoma education, this collaboration iyatsho into yoba we can't do it alone as a public works. We need to collaborate. We need to utsala our education, mhlambi even the youth structures, laa nto beniyithetha into yoba other departments so that i-program yenu ibonakale and then nezinye departments nqokelela nenzela uba ningagijimi omnye ngapheshiya omnye kanti within the same region you could collaborate and come up with meaningful interventions. Hayi ngiyeba ndizokunika ke bengekathetha.
Yes. Enkosi chair. Ndithe xa ndijonga ezaa slides zoyi-2 the issue of persons living with a disability, we did not touch that, and it slipped our minds, of which we've got the youth as Pangelanayo living with a disability. So into ebendinqwenela uba sithi chip in kwezaa slides zethu aba bantu bayayithanda into ba bayi-understand that bafana nathi ndingumntu mososebenza ngabantu umzekelo umuntu one-disability if ever uncedwe properly ngu-Mr. Nkwenja nangomso xa ebuya because befumene i-service right phaa ku-Mr. Nkwenja uyofika ekhangela uba makancedwe ngu-Mr. Nkwenja ndibuhlungu because kwezi regions zethu sinabo abantu abane-disability beyiyo i-youth but nge-observation yam apha kule conference asinabo yiyona nto bendithi mandiyithi chip in ingaske sibafake babe yiphathi yale program ye-youth naxa siphuma so that xa umuntu one-disability encedwa ngomnye umuntu one-disability uyabona mos uya-understanda that naye une-value futhi ii-issues ndike ndakwenye iprogram wena madam xa sasimamele abantu abane-disability indlela aba-adressa ngayo i-issues bayayidinga i-attention yinto ebendithi mandiyithi chip in si-omithile kweza presentations. Enkosi.
Enkosi kakhulu. I think ncedile ndikunike. Yeah, I think it's key because I think one speaker raised up that normally when we deal with forums siyalibala kwathina to do a-representation. Ufumaniseka ukuba si-discriminative in how we form ourselves, and yet there are critical stakeholders within us. Thank you for that. Tseba, khani ke ndalivula izwi lakho.
Okay, Nandungu Khoza from head office. Ndizathetha kwinto wellness as a youth. We need to know when to stop. We need to know ourselves. Singabe influenced by friends. Uba ichomi nevurpa now uyayifuna, of which we afford sometimes. Okay, let's say we afford. Umuntu aphele ngene ematyaleni akasakwazi ufocus because income ithi ingena, isalary ithi ingena, kuyatsalwa ngapha nangapha ushiya kungenanto. And ke ngoku phela mhlambe abanye ba resign because abakwazi bawa ne depression and stuff, umuntu aphele ezibulala ke worse. Of which ke ngoku if we need to unlearn lanto yabazali ba we must not talk to strangers about our problems and seek counseling. So we need to encourage young people to go for counseling.
Okay, Ngosi, wellness,
Okay. Igama lami ndingu Annelisa. Dingu Annelisa from a head office. I think points ezininzi sezichiwo, but benifuna emphasize on the information sharing and education point. Kukhona like people abase varsity now and sebezophuma e-university, but they don't really know bana. They know bana ngephi career path yabo, but they don't know bana intoni kanye kanye abayenzayo in detail. So I think also we can try and educate them bana, for instance from institution bensoka kuyo mna, I think being a knowledge much about umsebenzi ka government, everyone beleqa like private companies don't besingekho aware ubana you can actually apply emsebenzini kahulumende. So I think singenza also i-awarenesses ezinjalo. Also but usisebe seyithethile about abantu sebe graduated but abakamfumana umsebenzi, we can teach them on how to do mhlawumbi i-CV bayipost bangazifumana phi, because I think abanye abantu abekho aware ka mhlawumbi umuntu uyayazi bana kufuneka ayenze i-CV but akayazi ba ayenze kanjani. So I think also we can touch on that. And also but I don't know if irrelevant le point. Yesterday anazi bebekuthethe bani about like teaching people bana you don't have to go uhambe ipath leye like isikolo esokubana uzohamba uyoba ngugqirha okanye uyoba yintoni. Yeah, we can teach people, youth, about sport. We can teach them about art. We can teach them izinto ezi esingaqhelekanga ebantwini, because all we learn about uzoba ngugqirha, uzoba ligqwetha, uzoba ngutitshala. If umntwana wants to do that, then it's okay, but to teach them also there are ezinye izinto that they can actually do ezingadibananga nezazinto. So I think we can also invest kuloo nto leyo.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think that's education. Benny raisile up a lot about e-communication. I should Benny raisile a lot about e-communication. Is she on? Benny raisile about e-communication, information sharing. I think, and there was something that says, "Kwalapha kuni ebisithi," how much of what we do as public works is known out there, and nine programs ezinhle that you said, even why infrastructure, you adopted some technical schools near builder, but figure pa senza mabhokisi ezazindlu. There's not an interaction with those students from those technical schools. So I'm just saying in their faka, so that the programs then will be integrated, and where we are, so scarce integrated, because you are building into and bashiane equipment kwelcala, but kuyangena nje niphume nithi bye bye sinakhele i-lab yenu uyabona, without those interactions. But ke ngoku the communicating aspect, umsebenzi wenu must be known within the department. I think when you craft the action plan, that communication and awareness must be part of Ilanka, as we are saying. Nikeze wena, Nkosi. Kofe pokotweni mna.
Molweni colleagues, igama lami ndingunhlahla Nceba, ndisuka head office. Mnanza yapha class section kwa EPWP. I was once an upcourt student. Back then, sasi strugglisha, specifically ndenze i-Nancy electrical engineering. Sasi strugglisha material. Kelo class, I think it was 2019. Yeah, strugglisha i-material. Sis end up as tengela. Kufuneka futhi ke siye eGauteng siyo train. I mean siyo tester for a trade test. Sisiwe by for a pre-training for 2 weeks. Kodwa besikade sine 3 years yonke yenantsika ye technical student. Umbuzo wami ke ngokuba ingaba lonto isenzeka na uthi ubune 3 years yonke xa ukuzawuya your trade test eGauteng usanikwa la 2 weeks na ube eGauteng for preparatory ube eGauteng.
Inkosi. Hayi asizukuphendula lapha eromini. Ifake pha ku program of action. Xa ni deala ngo EPWP it must be noted. I think ininzi into ofuna niyoyinota ku EPWP because ufuna singathi sibe ne-impression apha endlini ethi naba abantu baka upcode sine target ye term of 1060 andithi. How many of those have got trade tests? And how many of those that have got trade tests and that are trade tested are actually employable? The issues none funa zincedisane ne department because if we are producing for the purpose of a target on the book, it's the analysis forum efuneka iyoyenza such that if the quality and the skilling yenza kwathina singabathathi as a department, who else is going to take them? I'm not saying, I'm just triggering a debate here so that nimbuye ni forum sibe ne analysis towards improving the program if there are gaps. Ndiyathetha nje ndikuKristu, I don't know much. Zakunika uphefumle. Yes. So I'm just saying ngenani njoba nizawungena ko upcourt no ICDP nibe ne program of action. I-role kaloku niyancedisana to enhance the programs such that the programs really are sustainable and meaningful to the youth and they lead to poverty alleviation, which means employment and so forth. So if utina asinayo, it means test CCT through our own structures and forums. Who else is going to do that? So I think enkosi for raising that. Ndi zonika wena dinike u LV uxolo ligama endimbiza ngalo.
Enkosi ma'am. Ngosikelela lothethayo apha eChrisane. Ndicela ukhomenta nami kwezi topics sezichaziwe. Ndicela ukhomenta okanye uphefumula phaa kweza internal programs bekuthethwa ngazo phaa. Ndicaphula wellness njengosisicobisa. Ndicinga uba mna singabantu abatsha balapha kwa Department of Public Works, i-role yethu phaa kula office yakwa wellness mhlawumbi will be to better siphinde futhi si-improve eza programs zakwa wellness because into endiyiqapheleyo akho nto yenziwayo ngaphandle kokubaleka kwa wellness. Kuyabalekwa and then ndizama ukucinga ke ngokuba abanye bethu abakwazi kwa oko kubaleka. Sinabantu abadala kaloku that we must always remember edepartmentini nabo abafuna uwellness. Abasakwazi ubaleka la maxhego kodwa nawo anengxaki ayafuna uwellness. So I think bantu abatsha yi-appeal yam leyo ba must be fully supportive kweza programs by forming part singene kula office and give ideas ezizezizo mhlambe ezawukwazi ukunceda abantu be-department xa bebonke. Xa ndisithi we must be supportive again, thina abantu abatsha ziyapostwa ezaa zinto xa kuzokwenza ii-programs zakwa-wellness but we don't form part. Sithi sibhizi sezi-ofisini yet singaba sithi si-depressed but asiphumi siyojoyina ezinto zenziwa kwa-wellness. So yi-appeal yam that sike sivukeni siyojoyina phaa. Another point mhlawumbe noyenza okanye i-appeal ke to i-department to employ abantu aba-vibrant kula office. Asibafuni ma'am abantu abaleleyo kula office
because kaloku sifika si-depressed pha. And then xa ndizawufika ndi-depressed ndibalise izinto zam ke ngoku emntwini naye ndimbonayo uba u-depressed yena qala izawuthini le nto ayizuvuka mostly department. So it is my appeal, ma'am, that i-department ke ibonelele mandla office ngabantu nje aba-vibrant so that nathi sizokwazi udlamka. Zizonke ke ezi zinto zizawukwazi usinceda into yoba ngabana sikwazi umanager ezi stresses zethu more effectively, sikwazi ureducer and sithi better manage ezi depressions sinazo, sikwazi to also improve our overall well-being. Mhlambi ndingathetha napha kwa-HRD, andithethi ngazo ke ezo zombini kuba ndinguwapha, but I'm just touching kuba ndicinga uba mhlambi ezi points zizokwazi uncedisa. Kwa-HRD ziyaphuma ii-bursaries bethunana, abantu abatsha ndiyaba-aphila again, bake ba-aplaye esikolweni, ba-aplaye again for ii-bursaries. Baninzi mem abantu abatsha apha edepartmentini abangekafiki nakwi-30 years abangekayi mhlawumbi esikolweni okanye abangakho willing to uba mabaye esikolweni. I-appeal yam ke leyo. Uyabona ke ubabone phi aba bantu into abangabana banayo ingxaki. Uyabona ngoba esenza laa nto kuthiwa i-migration bebesoyika uluza their jobs because bayayazi into abangabana they don't qualify mhlawumbi for umntu uyazazi uba akaqualify for la position akuyo. Mhlawumbi le position akuyo ku-level 7 yena mhlawumbi abe ono grade 12. Abe lo level 7 requires into abangabana makabe ne-degree okanye abe ne-diploma plus i-driver's license. Siyacela ke singu-HRD mhlawumbi on behalf of HRD ndizenze HRD. Abantu abatsha bakwazi ukuthi apply for ezi zinto. Enkosi kakhulu ma'am.
Enkosi ngizawunika ogcina i-chance ku-Mr. Mkwentsha, then kaloku i-commissioners azingavezi thule. I-commissioners a closing round, then sibe seyivala le session ye-presentations with all these inputs that ought to be captured as part of these presentations. Ona msebenzi umninzi wesi structure sizosonyula sizohlala phansi Mr. Mzenandi uvalelwane because ekugqibeleni that program of action must be clear in about this is what we need to do, these are the collaborations. Even at Russia, it must be a document as South Korea account all of us we know so that singathethe emlomeni izinto so sithi kulo mqela sasitesikhale ukuthi what has happened.
Nkosi ma'am, u-HRD Mr. D Izolo ebene-point ethi bursary care and then benzama ucinga ke mhlawumbi uthini kula bursary care. Ngosini ezi commissions zethu siye sayithetha into yoba support for i-current bursary holders. I think Mr. D singakuncedisa sisi ex-bursary holders kwela cala lika support for current bursary holders. Because as ex-bursary holders, we have formed certain relationships with our former institutions. There are certain doors esiyaziyo uba if kungankqonkqozwa phaa athi umntana ndithunywa ngubani okanye ngubani othe mandize apha uzawuncedakala, because one thing we cannot run away from is the fact that institutions zethu zine systematic exclusion. You exclude abantu abamnyama ngendlela ephucukileyo. But because thina sesisuka phana sesiwafumene amaqhinga sesiyazi uba xa ungena emnyangweni ethile uthetha ngendlela ethile usewuvakala. I think singakuncedisa ne-office yakho with the current bursary holders because kukho abantu abathile sibashiyile kweza institutions esibaziyo esisathetha nabo nangoku abanonceda i-bursary holders zethu.
Nkosi kakhulu, it means ke mzi le youth forum iza kumisa ngenyawo. Yebo. Hayi ndiyagqitha kaloku. Sanufuna ndibizela gama. Yo, ndithetha kaninzi. So khona le ilapha.
Bethe akafuni. I think I'm just listening at the questions zabanya zezinye inputs esizifumana from the colleagues ne. I just want to caution the forum again that xa ukhomba umnwe to that particular program 3 yeminwe ikhombe kuwe okanye 4 ikhombe kuwe. There are questions that are raised that the ICTP program mhlawumbi is not performing well by my brother, and the fact that the youth does not have an ability to fill out the documents. If you are gonna go to EPWP, ICTP, and say in the month of June, make it a point that youth is a priority for employment, it means that you need to formulate a program. Yokuyo closer that gap for nizabanaimos database yala ICTP. You formulate a program as the youth structure to say that zindoni gaps up. Let's teach our youth so that by the time they come in, they are well equipped in doing what they need to do in terms of filling documents and the like. So I think Fnegasi understand that you've got a responsibility here, not only to question the programs, but to assist the programs in the main. Issue of appointment of graduates, it's a sensitive issue, I know, with most of our band. But let us look at the national situation that is occurring. Currently, government is sitting with an overburdened SOE. It means that aganai ability yokuqasha abantu as we would like. Sizawubona ngoku i-trade unions zizawumisa yonke into ngqi ngenxa yoba there's only 3% increase that has been granted. It means that if government ebenayo le mali, they would have made way yobana bayinyuse le percentage and would be able to appoint abanye abantu. So we're dealing with a very short fiscus. So as young people, we need to think, how do we then become entrepreneurs outside of government? How do we capacitate those that are outside of government not to ubana bakhuphi izandla bajonge kurhulumente? Yi-duty ne-role yenu le. Anizukhalazela uba hayi iprogram yami iphelile ndiyagxothwa ngoku ndizawuba unemployed. Let's start now. Let's look at the avenues that will make it a point that eventually xa ndihleli phantsi, what is it that I'll be doing? You need to plan for that now. You can't ube khona usoyika at this stage. Usisu raise nento ye-mental health senvala mem. Your data and this thing of partnering with Men's Forum. Kwindawo ezingenazi Men's Forum, youth can start ubuhlanti. The young men that are here, we start ubuhlanti. Sibabize otata bakhoyo within those regions to say, we want you to impart knowledge kuthi. We also want to speak with you ngendlela enisikhulise ngayo, because mhlawumbi se reacta ngolu hlobo si-youth kuzizinto esizifunde kuni, and nabo they will be able to reflect kubana hey nami endlini unyanam ndimtrita ngolu hlobo. So if umntu olapha emsebenzini uresponda ngolu hlobo ngendlela akhule ngayo kutatakhe, it means that there is a gap that engenzeki kakuhle. Kwi-culture yethu ke yesintu, ubuhlanti was used for that. So let's make it a point that we raise ezinto zobuhlanti. Yona ke ayidingi na budget. Uba ikhona nje indawo pha emsebenzini open, singayenza na bi-weekly. Kuhlalwe nje kuloo ndawo ngelunch okanye kucelwe ixesha kumqashi noba yi-30 minutes or an hour, sihlale singotata siphefumlelane ngeengxaki ezikhoyo. So I think zizinto ezi that you guys will be coming out of kule session and going to implement kwindawo nendawo enikuzo. Asizujonga kwi-programs nje, but you will be going to programs solutions driven to say here is the problem, but here are the solutions esizanazo to address the problems eninazo kwezi programs zenu niziranayo, Mr. D, EPWP, buildings and the like. Thank you, ma'am.
Enkosi kakhulu. I think colleagues, ngizakunqebela nje. I think likewise naba base kitchen banalo ilungelo loba i-youth le ilapha kwi-forum ibabize omama base kitchen kuthethwe ngendlela yezitya nembiza silungisane nathi ekuhlaleni. I think it goes likewise.
It's a plea, in fact, It's a plea. Dicela xa kukhutshwa i-bursaries pa for internal. Kubekho indawo especifiayo which school to go to or university or institution. Because izolo and before there were colleagues eziye zafumana i-bursary internally wafunda only to find that that school is not registered or recognized. And also kubekho indlela ekwenziwa ngalo mna ndaye ndafowunelwa eBishop kuthiwa ndifumene ibhasari but I was declined. So ingaske kubekho indlela kubekho indlela eniqhuba ngayo nisixelele nezikolo emasiye kuzo apha ngaphakathi because at least they know externally which universities to go to. Because
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think advice advocacy leyo from HRT nokuscreena xa bezonika i-bursary if those are accredited. Enzela uba ningasiphatheli ulesi yam. Usayifuna? Oh, sikhona. Ngokugqibela ndiyapha itafuleni ngokwenzela uba ixesha eli lingasi.
Molweni colleagues. Ndikhumbula ke usayithetha nge-disability. I think ndakhe ndafonelwa yenye i-colleague yam, like ex-colleague, seyisebenza correctional service. Kukhona i-post yayikhoyo phaa licebiso ke eli. Isithi abantu mabadisclose xa kwinto ye-disability because correctional that kulaa post wayidinga umuntu one-disability. I think ke siyi-youth singabacebisa abantu abane-disability umuntu madisclose xa e-applyayo because i-department ezininzi ziyabadinga abo bantu. No mem sekhava into eninzi kodwa benzothi na si-youth singasho si-assiste ne-department. Dinengxaki ne-system ye-department eslowly. Uthi ufuna wena i-production ikhawuleze ngakumbi thina kwecala kwa-maintenance siyathukwazi ezi department ufike wenze i-assessment wenze i-quotations then kune-term ye-procurement kapha e-departmentini it goes 2 years kusenziwa i-procurement izawubuya i-material yonyaka ophelileyo and wena okufowunelwa ze-department we-electricians ezi-light oko zazingalayithi wena uyafuna udeliver but i-system ye-department ayikuvumeli uba deliver. Iphinde uMr Mkontshizolo uke wathetha ngento yakwa-professional ne-technical yonke lana. I think ne-communication iyadingeka sike sane-challenge phaa eregionini kwakho ii-toilets zathi sezixhonyiwe kwazofika ii-inspectors sekudala i-project iphelile isithi inspectors yoba ingamelanga uba yenziwe le ingamelanga isikolo phofu sesiyayisebenzisa i-toilet. So I think funeka siphushe nathi si-youth for indlela yosebenza si-communicate sisodwa. Lastly nento ye-alcohol or drug abuse ifuna sike sibe ngumzekelo because awukwazi udeliver ufike emsebenzini Monday awukwazi nothini so ifuna iqala apha kuthi ke ngoku lanto apha internally xa sifika ii-clients sifike noko sisendaweni right because igama lika public works thina sihamba kwezi departments alikho lihle totally. I think nomqeshi unoxanduva kwi-working environments ithi xa ingena iclient okanye lo mntana bazo apply apha abe nomdla kusebenza kule department kwindawo esebenzela kuzo azaba accommodate totally abantu abane-disability. If une-steps akho ndawo yakuhamba i-wheelchairs ukungena kwi-promises ka-government. I think there is a long way internally apha efuneka siqale siyilungise thina indlela esisebenza ngayo i-structures zethu ukuze sikwazi ukuphusha i-production towards i-department. Enkosi ma'am.
Okay, inkosi kakhulu. Ndiyetafuleni ngoku andizunikeza anybody because nizawurida on the writing. Ndiya kwezi colleagues bezisinika ilanka. I think as bezawuvala colleagues, I think kwi-action plan yenu as the forum kufuneka siyithathe that we represent also management or senior management in the department. Then nikhalazile on the systems that the management also is receptive okanye is collaborating okanye infusing generally with yourselves. Ndicinga uba ke in some of the when you conclude your action plan somewhere somehow I think articulateani into yoba how are you going to ensure accountability of that part, the structure saying, such that the structure also accounts on the collaboration and integration? Because a program of action yenu must influence that we do things better. So at what level do you therefore interface with management? Not all of you, structure senu, and then based on the need, uba nizabe ni infuse kanjani management, then you will detail how you think. So that when the report comes to the office ka HOD and the management, and it is a shared and it's a well-known document, that we continue to improve. Nikwazi umonitarish into yoba ikhona nale bridge gap or the interface ebenikhalaza ngayo as well. So ndizama ke ukuba, for example, i-structures zenu nazi ziyaziwa, zi-electiwe. After election ithini into yoba kwaziwe ngumuntu wonke into yoba this, so that nakwi-regions zenu uyabona uba kufika uMavuatha noGorat belandelelana, akho umuntu ungaziba nguNihawu no-PSA. It needs to be the same with the youth forum and any other forum, so that accordwe the same know-how. Naxa nisenze programs zenu ibe yinto yaziwayo. So I'm just saying you must niqhoshe up. Ndicela nibe namazwi okuyivala le session. Emveni kwenu sizawunikeza u-OTP asiphe amazwi okanye a short discussion with us. Yeah, Mr. Mzanandi, ndikhona ibuzwa ithetha okanye after OTP ke ndizawunikeza i-guidance basakwenza ntoni. Inkosi kakhulu.
Inkosi kakhulu, ma'am. Mna ma'am, ndifuna just ukuthi youth forum is meant for a transformation, to streamline the current processes in order to improve the current status quo. Meaning ours is to address the concerns, not grievances. As your union team, if on a problem emsebenzini wakho bakhona, you are to travel in the right directions. Asizanga uzothempa on the territories abanye abantu. We are there to address the concerns. Like iyasebenza, but then it could work better. That's what you are there for. When as mdomcha, because you are umdu that's meant for transition, to oversee transition as a young person. How and PSA and other stakeholders are there for ezinye izinto. Just when I look at developing le ecoyo, and also this is what was left out when I'm in collaborations ne. And lena ke ndicinga ngoku ndoba the Department of Education in government needs to be brought in like they are when we are inducted at the end of our probation periods. Because siyafundiswa nge-NDP yonke la process ye induction, and those people need to be brought back. Bafundise those young entrepreneurs as need assistance, because we are claimed about our supply chain cannot assist. I cannot be talking to entrepreneurs that need help with tender documents. So we need to take it upon ourselves. We cannot just celebrate it or see jonge in shame. I think we need to go back to education, educate constantly and hold seminars to assist these people on a regular basis. And lastly, ma'am, dropouts, youth in practice, according to that. The department needs to enforce contractors to use these people about the category. Because contractors get away with a whole lot of money from the department, and we need to hold them accountable to plow back within our communities. We need to hold them accountable to right the wrongs of our, I think it's Camille, to right the wrongs of our society currently. With regards to unemployment and as in processes as my brother alludes deeply into them, delves deeper into them. So as sort of in-house, there are processes, but Tina as the youth, we need to hold each other accountable and constantly audit these documents that guide indlela yokwenza izinto. And in that way, we will achieve things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kosi.
Thank you, ma'am. When I did the presentation, the slide says solution was only one and column A1. Now, is slides the solution? It's this one, it's the second one, it's the third one, and it's 2 columns each. Now, engineering yathanda overtake ihambe phambili. When I calculated 1 bullet, if we achieved 1 bullet a month, it will take us 3 years to achieve zonke izinto sithetha ngazo apha. My point is there is a lot of work to be done. I think let us prepare ourselves to put our blood into this thing, because there is no budget for all of these points and thetha ngazo that can take us 3 years if we settled 1 a month. So if you are going to be serving especially in the provincial committee, be prepared to put your blood in this thing, because now senza into uyenza for a community. If you come with an attitude, it's not about me, it's about the people. Kuzoba mnandi, you won't even, flyer through le 3 years ungayiva no yiva and think that mhlambi asenzanga enough. But if you think that now I'm joining the youth committee, as Anton Dancima Fanda zakwenzeka because I'm here, you're gonna struggle, you're gonna be strained. So ndizama ukuthi it's a motivation ethi njema sesizibekile izinto njema bekuthethwa I did put a list. I think ngokumsebenzi wethu is to put timelines and things in a year plan. Noba mhlambi sizicategorize ngokweza sub bullets to say, okay, if we're gonna be addressing HRD une youth employment, une candidacy program, assessed persons, what zonke ezazinto. We put them in an actual plan to say, if mhlambi i3 years ngathi zawubande, let's settle at least 4 a month, split amongst the regions, sizenza njani ezo zinto. So I'm just trying to say there's a bit of work to be done. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Nkosi ngokuziba nisiqhwabele nonke endlini. I think therefore the 2 presenters and what they've captured will be consolidated as a document that will determine the actual consolidated action plan. So exonerate Mr. Mzananda because you wouldn't have had consolidated that work ngeli xesha. But that work will have to find time and space such that the persons esizawuphuma sisithi sinabo working with you, they would lead into okokuba nizoyohlala kweyiphi scenario but kuphunywe nento. But remember, in the areas, it's about collaboration, it's about advocacy, it's about change management, it's about transformation. The action plan that you would therefore conclude on, remember the communication and consultation with the affected departments, such that it's always a partnership. Ungabonakali the forum in a program yayo outside of the normal programs and so forth. Galomazike colleagues, this session ivalekile, and we appreciate that we could hear your voice as the youth. Bendiyenza ngabomi into kokuba nithethe apha Mr. Mzananda. Iza nithethe so that ibe yi-program yenu le ingabi yi-program yethu. Inkosi kakhulu. Andizunginika le yami sepokothweni.
Oh. Inkosi mem kakhulu. Colleagues okwami kulula njena kokubana ndizo introducer the speaker from the office of the premier angathethe ngaziwa. Ixesha selistyili Mr. Ngwensha sefuna uthatha i-platform ngoku azoqhuba i-elections. In front of you, you are seeing a deputy director in the chief directorate yako office of the premier kula desk ye youth. Mr. Kangumzi Mshumbela lo oyi deputy director bakla office. Kuninzi ke kunothethwa ngayo akayo guest speaker here. Is not the main speaker of the day. Apho benza uyilanda khona i-profile yakhe. Just to know bani mazba oyi deputy director kwa youth directorate office of the premier. Nkosi Kanga.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Anzazisa ngohlobo nzazisa ngalokho inhlanganiso zabantu abatsha. Ndiyazalwa phaa kwa Ward 2 kula masipala wase King Sabata Talinjevo, kula ngenxa yaseWarthambo apha eMpuma Koloni. Ngakasana dijongisene ne-coordination yophuhliso labantu abatsha apha eprovince. Let me greet the office of the MEC, the management under the office of the colleagues from the youth focal persons, leadership or delegates from the district, Sika Public Works. We really appreciate this kind of a session. But in particular when NYDA is here. And the colleague from NYDA, I get briefed of the proceedings which were done progressively. We work together with NYDA on a daily basis. Implementation of youth development in our own space. As OTP Youth Directorate, just a brief of our mandate, it also derived from the Provincial Youth Strategy, which was adopted in 2015, which was a 2015-2020 Youth Development Strategy support, which also take tune to the national youth policies from the 2014 one to the from the 2015 one to 2020, and yesterday was presented the current one of 2020 to 2030. So that's what guides us. And the pillars that have been talked about yesterday, which we were discussing in commissions, the Mamelege, Nes inputs, the reports, the commissions, indeed they talk to the pillars of our youth policies. But implementation yazo doesn't rely only on NYDA, doesn't rely only on Office of the Premier, of which I appreciated when you talk issues beyond service delivery priority areas of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, because some of the pillars there, they filter in various programs as per your discussions and your inputs. So, la guidance NYDA, it find it expression. You talked about collaborations. As I was listening, some of the programs, they don't need to be funded by the department. There are relevant departments have got a mandate to implement issues of enterprise development. As OTP, we are there to assist in coordinating that for youth and the constituency of public works. Your SMMEs, it has been mentioned, but others are struggling even to fill documents. We do have a program called Supplier Days Program as coordinator and resourced by OTP. So we need to come closer in planning with the new structure and moving forward towards the planning of the next financial year. We do have programs that we are doing with NYDA that talks to the business and enterprise development programs. Because as SMMEs, you'll find that you'll get only technical skill. Ne? There is no business management skill. And when they go and apply for funding in various funding institutions, NYDA, ECTC, and so on, part of the requirements is to check, is this business have got, is this entrepreneur have business skills? Now, they only have got technical skill. So we do close those gaps because they get disqualified by some of the funders. The definition of youth, comment, because the definition of a youth goes beyond the age. We like to speak about the age, in particular for the leaders. Goes with moral values. The agent of change. You can't be a leader. Leader pack. Leader pack. Secretary. I'll be taking minutes. Nothing else that you do. You must have ethical values. You must be a role model. Those are the definition of a young person, in particular, a youth leader. kufana ke naxa ungumsebenzi kuthiwe kuthiwa ngumsebenzi phaqa ngumsebenzi phaqa. You can't be working for a government department kuthiwe ngumsebenzi phaqa. Umsebenzi phaqa ke kungajongi nexesha longena kodwa lephuma uyaqiniseka ngalo. Uba uthunywa i-document uba ngathi uyi-messenger cannot explain xa into agqithwa ngala document. If kukho meetings ekuhlaleni, you cannot go and be part of those community meetings njengomhlali because wena phangela kwa-public works, you are safe. So kodwa your contributions as umsebenzi should be felt phaa kwi-community. Those are the discussions that you were saying up. But we need to practicalize that. That's what will define you as a progressive public servant. Savannah colleagues, mine is to share, not to present, but I must say that from the resolutions or recommendations from the commission, I'll be part of the team as a document, so that that document ultimately will find expression to APP of the department. As much as we are mandated to facilitate, to coordinate and monitor youth development in the province, working with government departments, municipalities, government agencies, and youth structures. Siyakwazi ukuthi kule monitoring yethu kule mandate sibe ne-interventions like the programs I've mentioned. As interventions see as a resource. Now we will look for like-minded programs that can be assisted resourcefully by the OTP. Then as in yage sincedise uthi rope in departments as in a mandate in the budget for that. Yabona ke zithethwa qho challenges the society as triple challenges. There's challenges zabantu abatsha, but there's less talk on the solutions. So we need to come up with solutions. You see, when you talk of triple challenges, young people talk of triple solutions as triple E's. These triple E's are education, enterprise development, that will lead to employment. So we're saying you must advocate and lobby for the budget to talk to those solutions. That is the government best. On the budget department, you must look what investment goes to education, what investment goes to enterprise development. As our contractors in to check what percentage procurement. We do get that statistics from Treasurer. Youth policy in a poor part got 30% your procurement of government spending. It's hard even to reach 10%. Thetha government spending. Siyalwa ke silwe salwa sabona ba indaba silwe idaba esingaliwiniyo. Let's have a program to address that, because if you go to treasury regulations kulendo ye procurement ka 30% ifunwayo, it's not there. That means that percentage ikula youth police is not mandatory to those SCM officials. Sine program ke esihamba siyenza ku district sibiza SCM champions, the youth focal persons in that space who are doing advocacy. Okuba noko xa icofa la system yakhe procurement officer akabe conscious and biased to youth. Asiyazi bicofa njani system, but la report yona soloko ifuna uba how much percentage. So nabo we are doing advocacy session just to lobby for them, which is part or should be your package. We have to do advocacy for implementation
of the resolutions and the policies that respond to youth development. Kubona ke nakule nto unemployment sikhala ngayo. I used to say there is unemployed youth that is unemployable. Kulo uthi xa usithi ufuna umsebenzi athi noba ngumpi, you will never find that post kuthiwa noba ngumpi. Kubekho the unemployed youth that is employable, that is the skilled youth, our unemployed graduates. So that is another category, which is a nightmare. Sesiqhelile ke nedoyitoyi pha se-intern zaziphelelwayo. Itoyitoyi zingena every year, premier to premier. But ayikho ipolicy ekuthiwa it's an absorption. What I'm getting at, as well leaders, when you fight and engage for a transformation of any agenda, you must be involved in those policies and influence as a policies. Ungathi abantu xa behamba kuthiwa ibesayine 12 months ibe ngathi bagxothwa urhulumente okanye i-management. Let's try to have these terms filter. Besibethe kuthiwa kuthiwa ngu-absorption. Fanele uba ngoma create, if we put take organogram and so on, uzathi mabaqeshwe phaa abantu. Yeah. So we need to be proactive in engaging these things. I normally participate on induction of ISAIC. There's a structure called South African Youth Council at the national, province, and in district. So it's important for leaders to interact with those leaders in the space abonyulwa kuzo, ne? Because they are an umbrella body of youth formations from the municipal level to national level. So we interact with them on a daily basis. But especially in Sitibana, nezinye structures ke sezidibene in assembly, maybe once in 6 months. So ezinye programs can be better lobbied when you collaborate with psych in the space that you are operating in. We hope for the best leadership ezakonyulwa. Siyayipopora ke SOD's office i-performance ye-departments. You see, departments are doing a very good work in youth development, but they are under reporting about the programs. For example, this department is youthful in terms of its programs. But the challenge is that institutional arrangements, they make it difficult. Lomdu youth focal person, ufuneka yo reporter ku provincial forum ke programs. Chane, youth development, it's always being in the low levels of the organogram. It's not in the center or in the decision-making platforms. That is the challenge. A resolution was taken to say we want youth directorates. Previously, youth development was issue of social development. If you was ngento ye youth, it was social development. I think it was social welfare department by the time. Due to the strides and struggles and the evolution of youth development, we're able to say, no man, let's have our own strategy, and the youth development must be the center and the champion, must be the premier at the provincial level, national at the president. All the departments must have youth directorates. Actually, I created OTP so that it. But now we've advanced to have a chief directorate. I think in the national, there were 3 or 4 provinces as the chief directorate. But I mean, go with departments. Let's have this directorate. At least when there's no directorate, there must be someone, manager level, who's responsible for youth development. We're coming from a background, Apo SPU, they were like events coordinators. We've passed that stage. Let's transform. Because if you have no SPU, manager or coordinator, or now one admin support, that means youth are going to join. I put the pressure of Women's Month. abene pressure disability month, kanti into development is a day-to-day work. So we're appealing and we sit and advance as a report for the leadership to give guidance. Kule nto ifunwa ngabantu abatsha. All the best. Thank you very much.
Can I note hands very much as Mr. Ngonja is coming? Anyone clarity seeking questions quickly? Shall I assume that Sibambile, ne? The message from the Office of the Premier? Masibulele kakhulu Mr. Mshumbela nge-input yakho. Izawengejwa wena. We are going to make a follow-up, colleagues, on what have been alluded to here. Nyansi Electricity is going to be part of what we are going to do. Perhaps let me take this opportunity and say, as a way forward, the structure that is going. Yes, okay. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Mzananda. Good morning, colleagues. Firstly, I welcome the presentation from OTP. It's very progressing indeed, and the input is really appreciated. Just, I've got a question. The policy that was developed in the Eastern Cape that talks to youth was done in 2015 or approved in 2015. I'm not sure whether the policy was revised from there. If it was revised, I would like to get such a document. The reason is that in 2020, the National Department of Youth and Disabilities that report to presidents, they developed a policy. And the challenges that we're facing today, the ease of fourth industrial revolution, the gender-based violence, the high rate of unemployment need new solution. Then I want to request to OTP to review the policy. If the policy was approved 3 years ago, that policy is no longer relevant today. That's my assumption, looking at what is Eastern Cape is having a challenge, is having these challenges. So the new committee that's going to be elected, they must try to, within 3 months, come up with a draft policy document that will talk to current issues that affects young people. So that whatever input they are coming up with to the senior management of the department, we know that is covered by the policy document. No, thanks very much, colleagues.
Thanks very much for reminding me. If I may legally update on where are we after the youth policy. Indeed, our strategic document is 2015-2020. Then besiyama nala 2015-2020 where NYP law say review or adopt. Then we had to wait for adoption integrated implementation strategy of which now say adopt national. So that we are in line. At the provincial level, now currently we've appointed, which delayed a research institution, which is doing a research evaluation of that strategy, which will inform the review. Go February next year, but the review will be quick. Now we're working with the National Youth Policy as a living document, but we are in that process. So the structure will participate more on the review. On the review, but on the evaluation research, by using the previous resources that were there. Thank you very much.
I will make sure that you get that copy, the current NYP, if I know. That one, if there are no further questions, yes. Thank you very much.
Second. Ni ready? Ni ready? Goya cha. Viva Mdomcha, viva! Viva Mdomcha, viva! Phansi nge-gender based violence, phansi. Phansi nge-child abuse, phansi. Phambili nge-youth enterprise, phambili. Phambili nge-youth development, phambili. Ya, sakonyula ngo. Sizakonyula ngo. Before I outline indlela esawusebenza ngayo, benifuna nje sike sivuke. Sizakonyula leadership ngoku ye province. This is the leadership that is going to take us forward. Phake komnye umbutho kwakwenye document kuthiwa through the eye of a needle. We don't elect leadership ngokwe popularism. If ungwenja popular, I don't elect ungwenja ngenxa iba popular. We look at the people that will have the capacity to drive as initiatives besithetha ngazo kule 2 days yonke. So xa nizawuhlala apha nicinge, you need to think bana anizofuna nje abantu abazawudlala apha. Kuthiwa le program yenu yonke i-likelihood ingani 33 years. We need energetic people abazawuqiniseka into bangabe i2 years bayayishwankathela ibe ngonyaka omnye okanye ibe ngonyaka ababini. So we need such leaders, people who are going to be bold to attack issues, people who are going to be disciplined to xa be-engage management, bayi-engage nge-respect so that izinto enizifunayo zizokwazi ukwenzeka. Asidingi boldness yolwa ne-management, but we need to convince management of the plight that is facing young people and nabantu abatsha out there that you guys need to service. Remember, niya kwi-constituency yenu, in your various regions, you need to show that leadership and that skill and that quality. My brother was saying there that you need to be very ethical leaders. So the leadership lena ezawu-electwa nini. We've got 6 positions of leadership kwi-provincial structure. Chairperson, Deputy Chairperson, Secretary, Deputy Secretary, organizer, no media liaison. Those are the only positions ezizawuba khona. Sike sa deliberator no Tamza. We thought of only taking o chairperson ba contest sathi maybe we are closing a gap for a secretary or no contester and be a good chairperson. So sathi sizayivula nina nizaw elect okanye nizakonyula abantu enizabaphakamisa apha ba contest. Abantu sizabonyula sibabeka apha ba contest. Sawubanika less than a minute asixelele umuntu why they should be a chairperson wethu, why they should be a deputy chairperson wethu. Ugqiba kwaba bantu bane sizabacela baphume phandle bona sivotela amagama abo one by one, so that sizokwazi bana sibe ne structure noko esi democratically elected. So that is our modus operandi, colleagues. So from the floor, xa siqala ngo-chairperson, sizawucela ii-nominations, bazazoma apha phambi kwam abanominathiweyo, sibanike laa mzuzu wobana baqale. So that is how we're gonna operate and that is how we're gonna do it. Ixesha lethu selisityile, siyaqala ngoku ku-chairperson.
You are allowed to vote abanye abantu. Vote abantu abahlanu. I'm saying uthi mos uthi bakuzakonyulwa mos chairperson umuntu ngamnye amotivate why ecimba ueligible bangonyulwa bengu-chairperson boyifuba bebe lapha abantu baphume phandle aba bantu. Sifuna bemnye mos andithi sifuna umuntu oyi-1 pha kubo. So xa xesha bephandle kuyavotwa, uzovotela bayi-2 wena phana. Ungavota kabini wena ushekileyo. Kanye nifuna ngolo hlobo.
Sawuvota kayi-1 kwenzela uba singabi ne-problem ye-numbers, because ii-numbers zethu sawufumaniseka uba ngoku abanye baluze nge-margin nje esingazi-understandiyo. Une-question mntakwethu?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, i-concern yami iyi-1 ne, because umzekelo sizobiza u-chairperson, mhlambi babe bayi-3 ba-present, then xa sigqibile sivote for that position, simuvele to another position. I-problem about this thing, mhlambi abantu abayi-4 in that entire top 6, they might come from one region. And it's a danger again because the leadership here is not going to be diverse. So I think if we see positions as a 6, why here we can lobby each other, and each region be represented in that top 6. At the same time, we don't want the tension of contestation. I know it's a democracy, but we want this thing to work. If that's the issue, even the contestation, besino and follow the process here rotational leadership. Komnyunyaka amatole it is abasitu chairperson. Komnyunyaka any region it is abasitu ndondo. So I don't want us to follow that process where aban baza present and end up having one region in that leadership. We want all regions to be elected equally.
Ukhona omnye onenye view mhlawumbi contrary. Ndifuna uziva ezi views zenu kuqala.
Bona lambono iprovince yethu ivast Eastern Cape. Ndiyawuxhasa lambono.
Okay, ingathi seniyenzile lobbying. Kanilale ne benilobhisha, because we ilapul part it will be difficult to move with a view that doesn't have a buy-in kwendlu yonke ne. And the danger in this view of lobbying for positions is that we are not testing the credible leaders. We are not testing the capacity. We are only saying, hayi makuyo bani nobani nobani, and asiyazi le lobbying bana wonke umuntu was involved in that process na. So ndiyafuna siqiniseke kubana if we are moving with that view, siyayikhaba le ye management yendlela yokwenza izinto. We've got a unanimous agreement elapha. Mna, I wouldn't have a problem if there are people coming from one region, if le delegation ilapha ibona kuba credible leadership in the province comes from the region of OR Tambo. Credible leadership in the province comes from the region of Sarabatman. Remember, each region has a structure already. So noba structure siliftwa from P, it azuqhwalelisa the operation of that region. Noba as a structure, it is not represented in the provincial structure. We've got regional chairpersons that make it a point that they communicate with the provincial structure. That is the job of the regional chairperson, in my view. Kaphandle uba ke ndiyiphosile andisayazi seyi-operate ngenye indlela. But ke ndicela ninike guidance as le collective. Mhlawumbi, do I say by show of hands, do we move with that suggestion? By show of hands, do we move with the democratically elected suggestion? I hate dictatorship in a way. Okay, Nzaknika, I've got two hands in chair.
Okay.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, as much as I'm tempted to say that we must move with that idea, ne? But I'm not sure now, how are we going to elect the chairperson? It's fine, and I think it's fair enough the way they are requesting that, at least on the provincial structure, let there be one representative from each region. I think it's something that it's fair, but all I'm asking myself is, how then are we going to elect those people? Are we going to vote to say from the province? We know most, earlier on you did mention that in each and every region, they have already having those structures. Maybe we'll say from the structures, from all the chairpersons in the regions, they select one out of those 6 that are there, and then we move on like that. I think it will make life easier even for us to select from the people that have already been selected as chairpersons. Thanks.
Andifuna unika abantu abaninzi, ne? Because sizawuphela
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I think we should move with the directive from the management, because for a fact, Sarah Patman was not part of the lobbying. And I think it's going to go back to what you said about the credibility of the people who are going to be elected. If we are electing per region, we'll just be electing for the sake of having a structure, but it is not going to be fully functional and effective.
Siyasiba sibaninzi ngoku, ne? Mandivala sinalo ixesha. Masenze olu hlobo, ne? There were 2 proposals that we had as management. One, sithatha chairperson bonke sibabeke apha. O chairperson nibabone, sibakhuphe, nikhethe chairperson from there. Or from the floor, we select a chairperson or chairperson eniba-nominatayo to lead. Let's move with those. Sine 3 suggestions ngoku, yabo? Enye pa iti region by region, ne? Masiqale ke ngale ithi region by region. Let's have show of hands. Kubano omuvayo with this suggestion of region by region leadership. Cela ubale Pramza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, 15, 16. Mkhuphe lo. Management le. 16. Chairperson by chairperson. Ba city. Remember, we've got chairpersons, we've got secretary, deputy chairpersons, Don. Who wants to move with that view? Because the last one is Lena City, we can nominate anyone from the floor. So who wants to move with the status chairpersons? Babek up by show of hands. Do we have anyone? Ifile leyo. And the nje show of hands go city democratically elected Don. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Sigqibile ngu free for all ngo, ne? Nabani na anga contesta, anyone can become chairperson. Ilendlela ndiyiqhele ngayo ke le. Simbone u comrade secretary sithi hayi nami ndinga contesta for chairperson, ndiyazibona uba nayo capability to be chairperson. Ndicela ke colleagues ndizawuthatha nominations for the position of chairperson. Ndicela uthatha nominations zaphakama izandla, zabaleka izandla. Okay. Yes. Masande, okay. Masande, now I am nominate. Okay, Masande. Okay, ndicela uqale ndimbuze qala. Are you free to stand, my brother? Okay, good. Ndicela uthatha enye nomination. Okay, ndicela ubuza. Oh, benza ubuza ba. Are you free to stand? Ndicela uzoma phambili mhlekazi xa sewunominate Comrade Masande. Colleagues, ndicela enye nomination. Khona enye nomination esinayo for position of chairperson. Ningoyika umcontesta, colleagues. Noba umuntu uyazinominata, ningoyika umcontesta. Is my brother? Okay. Are you free to stand, mhlekazi? Oh, already. Right for a stand? Izoma apha phambi kwam. Yeah. Sis. Loiso, are you free to stand, my sister? I-problem endinayo sizawuthi abantu abangoma ukhona umuntu othatha iminutes, ngicela bekhona umuntu othatha iminutes man. Ubani osithathela iminutes? Yakepturishwa ne? Anifuni kuthiwe ngenye imini zange bekhona siyazivala i-positions kubantu abangoma. We want to make it a point that the process is free and fair to everyone. Sendizazivala ngoku positions and contestations. Uloyiso is declining the nomination to stand for the position of chairperson. Can I, colleagues, ngicela sibuyele back ne? Ngicela sibuyele back, colleagues, the meeting. Please, ngicela sibuyele back. My brother, are you nominating? Yes. Decline. Okay, Dicela, we've got these two nominations, Umasande, Nonjebo, ne? Nonjebo. Dicela, Siba alawe nje, umzuzu, baphume phandle, bayohlala esofeni. Sinyana nje, Oh, you leadership. In less than a minute, give us reasons why we should vote for you.
All right. Good afternoon, colleagues. Andizuzazisa besele ndizazisile ngaphambili. Xa ngaba ninondinika ithuba lokuba ndilidishe yonke le province. Mna zonke ezi regions zilapha ndiyaqiniseka ukuba siyafikelela structure kuzo zonke. Siqiniseke ngo-operation ye youth province iyonke, then kuyo yonke le as inputs besele sizibekile apha zisityayo senze sure uba senze implementation. Sikwakhona kwathina sodwa senze sure uba abantu bebelida ngaphambili siyaphinda siyabacela so that basinike guidance kwakhona singabavaleli ngaphandle. Mandingandi kakhulu ndingathethi kakhulu.
Less than a minute.
Thank you. Sometimes ngabonakala ngathi ndiyazigqatsa, but ndisuka kulali kuqumbe kuthiwa kusentaba Sigogo. Usibonda waphayana gave me a mandate uthi Masande, no formal education. Masande, you are a torchbearer for this community. I'll say university, you see in these platforms because now you have degrees and all these things. Represent where you're coming from. So I'm just here to represent where I come from. Thank you.
Thank you. Stella niphume nisimele ngaphandle. Ayeye ziyabuya. Ziyabuya. Bahlale pha esofeni. Mphathi. Asifuni lanto ba abanye abantu mhlawumbi bafeel basuka na eregini noyi-1 omnye umuntu, but they don't believe that mhlawumbi angasileader as the chairperson. So xa ungamvotelanga nibuyela back endleleni kuthiwe hayibo njani ndingavotelwa nguwe kodwa sisuke endaweni enye. Ndicinga nje into ezinjalo. Party yandoyikisa ke ngoku ndithini ndibabuyise.
Confidence in what we are doing. Because if we're confident enough in what we're doing, we shouldn't be taking them out of this hall. They are part and parcel of us. They should be part of voting for themselves. This is what I think we should be doing. Yes, I know previously we've been doing these things, taking people out, but we have since transformed from where we were, and then we're looking forward to make it a point that every one of us is really part of us until we finish the process of voting. Thank you.
Office ka MEC ke leya. Mhlawumbi zama ukusicebisa on how we should do this, but izawuba yenu ngoba yenu le election.
So I think the delegates will decide, but we can just offer advice. A process of election is a contestation which some of the effects as of processes may be felt long after the actual activity of voting. And it is a norm that if a person's name is a subject of discussion in whatever forum or in whatever manner, be it's subjected to a vote, it is normal practice that that person is allowed to recuse themselves so that the process is not seen to be influenced in any way by the presence of the person. So for the credibility of the process, delegates, I would propose that we allow the persons that are to be voted for to recuse themselves so that whoever wants to express themselves in any manner feels free to do so in their absence.
Office ka HOD, office ka MEC. Delegates. Delegates, nibona njani? Ndicela nje by show of hands nifuna babe khona phakathi. Sibakhuphe ngaphandle. Igqibile meeting. Undyebo delegates ngicela izandla. Lo lapha eqaleni. Cela undyebo delegates. Voters undyebo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you. Voters for Masande. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Cela usibhale 23. Kaloku funeka sikwazi unika report back kubana kwavota banga kwenzela uba kungathiwa the process was flawed in any way. Singababiza ke ngoku bangene. Okay. Nizabanika izitulo phangemva. Okanye apha phambili. Sicela siqoqe izitulo zibe yi-6 apha phambili. Okanye bahlale phaa emva kwetafile. Yes. Mabahlale apha etafileni. Suka Mr. Mzananda etafileni. Mr. Mzananda, sicela usuke etafileni. Ngicela sibabize. Makujika ujonge ecaleni. Leaders, cela size phambili. Ngela smapa leaders, ne? Ngela smapa leaders. Leaders, the constituency has spoken. The constituency has elected Comrade Masande to be chairperson the provincial structure. Ngicela supportaneni nabanga electwanga, they are leaders in their own right, so funeka siqhubekekile siqiniseke basisebenzisana sonke. Sicela uhlala apha Comrade Chair. Umfundisi. Hey, izawusikeleleka le committee because kumfundisi oyilidishayo. So hey, into zenu zawuthanda uhamba kahle. Deputy position for chairperson. Ndiyacela man, let's elect abantu abangosisi kakhulu. I've got isandla sokuqala besirayizwe phanga la sisi. I've noted esesibini esesithathu usaphakamile bhuti nesesine ngiqale ngawe siswami. Malbongo, are you free to stand, my brother? Okay. Hey, bye. Zotumo. Zotumo boy, are you available to stand? My leadership.
Chair, I don't think before Sikale we raise the issue of women's representation. Because if we see a position as E6, at least we must have 50% of women. Yeah, but I can't wait for men alone. Hence, I'm nominating that lady as a deputy chairperson.
Lady, you are free to stand. Lady? You are free to stand. Yes, so. Never. Are you free to stand, my brother? Okay. Khona election. Okay, cela size phambili amagama ayinetwe. Loyiso, Malibongwe, Sneeman, Kasa, Neba. 1 minute each. I'll start with the lady. Ladies first. Okay, 1 minute.
Hey guys, issues zonke eziraiswe apha zonke into eraiswe apha ila kakhulu abantu I mean phezulu use head office MEC nabantu base uthi baso ndinefika into ba mhlamba kusibakho umuntu quick uzakhawuleza afike kwezi ndawo uyaqona hayi nyani because ngoku mina ndipha kufitshane yabo and futhi ke ngoku kwakudala mos kwakuba comrade oChristian babe brave yabo so ngizama ukuthi and ke ngoku sike ngathi ubhutile usandonyulo ungumuntu okharezo kufuneka sibacenge oHSOD kufuneka sibacenge MC bafuna ucengwa kakuhle bakwazi ukuba bamamela umuntu lokuthetha
Hey. Ayibamba umthetho, ayibamba umthetho. Bhuti, your time starts now.
Yasinda le mic. Guys, mina ngizoba ngulomuntu endinguye because le position ifuna lo muntu endinguye. So I'll just be lo muntu ebendizipresente as yena in the position. Enkosi.
Descend on and decline, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm here now. I guess it's just me being a woman challenging the construction industry, which is very male dominated. I've been doing that for quite some time now, and I still have no problem doing that. Thank you.
Leadership, nazi nominations zenu sicela nisi-excuse. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. Leaders, quickly, let's settle down. Kale hands for unhlahla kulona ebemkhulu ebelapha wase head office. 1 2 3 4 Oh, ay imani funeka nicinge kahle ne. Funeka nicinge kahle ne. So ngoku ndiqala ngalo then ndizawuza ngalo. So ndifuna niqiniseke uba niyibambe kakuhle le nto. Siphakamisa izandla for unhlahla as deputy. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 nhlahla. Asikambalele umalibongo. Ndiza ngalona ngokumde ne. Ndicela sanivota nge-region manini. Ndicela siphakamise izandla for umalibongo. Phakamisa kaphatmani yodwa. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Cela izandla for uloyiso. You see, I've noticed that most women did not vote for uloyiso. Yes, most women here did not vote for uloyiso. And if we are saying, my leader, we are excluding women, let it be recorded that it was women in this forum that excluded other women. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Ndikubalile ne? 12. Let it be noted, cameraman, that in this session, where we were electing the provincial youth structure, women of the forum were excluding their own women from taking leadership positions. Thank you very much. Ndibetheni ndithethe inyani ndibetheni xa ndithethe inyani. Yes. Ndicela sibabize sibanike results zabo. We are trying to achieve equity of 50% women, 50% male. Ngendlela endibona ngayo ingathi sisaqhuba on a male dominated stream. Andifuni ngomso kuthiwe when management was presiding over this nomination ba electe a structure that is male dominated, so sonke njengale ndlela uPublic Works angayo as a male dominated department. So ndifuna uyijula kuni so that next time xa niphinda ni nominate nicinge. Thank you very much. Ngicela sibabize. Hayi umuntu xa engayifumana ngenye ningaphinda nimonyule kwenye. Yes. Lena nicinga ba Aibo. Hayi bo. Tin number zakho. Oh. Okay. Comrade, leadership, elected Mhlekazi as a deputy chairperson. Hlala apha ecango chairperson, mhlawumbi uza kosuleleka kushumayele nawe. Siya kwi-position ka-secretary. Position ebalulekileyo ke kakhulu leya. Chairperson no secretary make an organization. So if the strongest candidates that we need to have is the position of chairperson, is the position of secretary. Funeka siqiniseke kweziya ziyi-2. Ndinezandla ezininzi ndizawuqala ngapha. Yes, but nominate.
ngethemba endinalo loyisokazi esasihlala ndiyakunika.
Amen. What? Lulek, are you, sorry, are you free to stand? Are you available to stand? Okay. Ngaluzoma. Loyiso, ngaluzoma apha nawe again. Sikhona esinye isandla besila. Okay. Sikhona izandla bezivuka apha. Yes. Malbongwe, are you free to stand? Are you available to stand? Is a boot. So it's by 3 for the position of secretary. Ngathi nguwe lapha ekuqaleni sokuzawuqala wena uthetha.
Nambe sentithile.
Okay, I don't think I would be nominated. Anyway, I think not just to be a secretary, but to serve in the forum of the region would be effective if a person like me who is already running such programs within the region, partnering with different stakeholders such as the municipalities and the NGOs. I think that duty will be well executed in my hands. Thank you.
Loyiso Malbongwe lulama ne luleka. Okay. Thank you. Qala ngalo. Dize ngalo. Akakho lapha. Loyiso kaziqhanyo, can I have hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Loisokas 22. Silandelanga lo Malbongwe. Can I have show of hands? 1. 1 apha kumal. 1. Malbongwe. Yes, it is a Galona. Can I have show of hands for Lulek? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Yes. Sibabisi baze ngaphambili. Sibabisi. Timbiza ke. Andibona uba ne-favoritism. Uqala umbiza uWinnie phakathi la program yethu yakwa-buildings. Uloyiso latata. Eh? Hayi ngicela nize ngapha guys please. Hayi bomhlekazi sewuhleli phansi. I-constituency ithethile. Icela wena sisiloyo siyokazi to be our secretary. Congratulations. We are at the position of deputy secretary. Comrade.
Thank you, Chair. Ngifuna unominator uZikhona.
Uzikhona Ngombe. Are you available to stand, Sikhona? Kaluze ngaphambili. Yes. Mr. Chairman. Unjebo. Jebo, are you available to stand for position of deputy secretary? Yes. Taking hands. Sis Luleka. And if oh, we are declaring. Why I said about Lungu, come, my brother. Come. Come on. Yes, I don't know about it. Blue. I call him Koi. Shannon. Burger King. So we've got Unjebo, we've got Uzikhona, we've got Shannon. Sikhona sinye isandla siphakamisayo. We are done. Bese sikuvile mos ilizwi lakho. Ufuna siphinde silive for. Hayi ba. We know what is capable of. I think when choosing your quality leadership, you can already know what you have in him. Sikhona, Scaluva.
Nothing much to say. All I can say is that I'm not a good talker, but I'm good when it comes to writing, scribing, and typing, and I'm faster.
Okay, I'm not a fast writer. I'm not a fast typer. It is what it is. I'm a grafter. I work hard. I use my hands. I use my mind. I use who I am as a person as well to assert myself. And then in doing that, I'll just put fire underneath everyone else, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Bente, ndizawuqala apha. Ndize apha. Hands for Unjeb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 for Unjebo. Sis Zikhona, hands for Zikhona. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was bad. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Aye, they are voting. 18 for Zikhona. Hands for Burger King. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 7. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. And ndicela sibabize. Hayi equating ngathi siyayibamba noko. Siza nayo kakhe. Sorry. Khawuleze ndakhala ne. Hey, hayi bekunyanzelekile ndijaje otherwise ke singekho la. Ke singekho la. Colleagues, the collective has spoken. We are choosing Usisi Sikhona as the Deputy Secretary. Congratulations. Organizer. Ne? Shekelwe position as itungu. Organizer no media liaison. Organizer. Person that can DJ is assist. Luleka, are you available to stand? Ngicela singaphambi izamem. Malibongwe, are you available to stand for the position of organizer? Ngicela uze ngaphambili. Andiva. Nomakhwezi, are you available to stand? Ngicela uzostanda. Ngicela uzostanda. Leadership. Njebo, are you available to stand for position of organizer? DJ. What's that? Sikhona esinye isandla siphakama. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Mli, are you available to stand? Stand up, okay, but. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sheke zimbini, colleagues, you need to look around the room, ne? Niqiniseke ba akho lead nifuna ibe kwi provincial structure nifuna ishare kapha ngemva. Mlingani Changani, zawuqala ngawe bhuti. I'll give you your 1 minute and it starts now.
Ngosimphathi, good afternoon, colleagues. The reason that I think ba ingandifanela le ndawo is because andingomntu uthetha kakhulu. Andingomntu ohoya yonke into lena kodwa xa kunyanzelekile ndithethe ndiyathetha ndingafihli makhuba kulinywa. So colleagues, that's why I think mna I'd like to believe I would serve the position justice. Thank you.
Ngosi. Sethethile uNjebo. Sethethile uMalibongwe. Sethethile uLuleka. Kushota wena sisi.
Molweni nam ndiyazibulisela ndinguNomakhwezi kwaMafuya. Now the only reason why I think I would be fit for organizing the event is because ndiyathanda into ezi-organizwayo, like events and putting things together and running those events and seeing the success from them. Enkosi.
Thank you. Ela Nisp. Sine Chris Hani, sine head office, sine Chris Hani, sine Amatol. That's your leadership. Ne? Chris Hani, head office, Chris Hani, Amatol. Leadership yenu le. Mlingani Changani, hands. 1, 2. Mlingani, Lamfana that was nominated. Mlingani. It's this. Mlingani Changani. 1, 2. Njebo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Uhlil. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah. 21 Njebo. Scribe. Sibe no Mafuya. Mafuya ngulo sesobela begqibeleni. Nomakhwezi events. 1, 2, 3. Sibe nalo ugqibela uLuleka. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Malbongo ndimlibele. Malbongo. Yes. Ngicela sibabize. Ngicela sibabize. Ngicela sibabize. Suka. Ayina. Bendithe gwitshani apha nafuna ukugwitsha. Ngoku ni electe unjebo niyagwitsha. Njebo, sicela ube ngu-organizer. Shekelwe iposition enye. Shekelwe iposition enye. Media liaison. Ixhomekeke kuni ke kuba lilate okanye ayilo late na. Comrade leadership, ikhona nje into esiyiphawulayo ngoku quickly ne, is that some of these candidates esizi-electayo, their contracts may be coming to an end apha kuDecember. Kuzawufuneka ke ngoku sithi xa sigqiba ukonyula esi structure, we formulate a way forward yobana if, because asiqinisekanga mos, asiyazi eventuality of what's going to happen. In the eventuality that umntu uyahamba, how do we then continue? Sizawuphinda sizodibana kule ndibani lolu hlobo. Hayi, ngicela please abantu ababhukhayo leadership nigade kungabhukhwa kwindawo ezinepool next time. Sithatha izandla for i-media liaison. Yes sis. Sis Luleka, are you available to stand leadership? Cela uze mntasekhaya. Shannon, Nomakwezi, are you available to stand leadership? Please come. Sikhona ezinye izandla. Going once, going twice. Sold to Sarah Batman. Sold to Sarah Batman. Unfortunately, both the candidates standing here are Sarah Batman. Chris Hani, head office. Chris Hani, Amatole, OR, Sarah Batman. Chonge Sarah Batman ngoku. Sebesbriefile man the two ladies. Sicela nje nisiphe ithuba sikhethe leadership. Sarah Batman. I equity, I'm happy. We balance equity. Kumafuya, Kululeka, two candidates in front of you. ngicela izandla for uMafuya. Noma quiz, Mafuya. 1, 2, 3. 3. Kaloku funeka sibale inamba kaloku. Luleka. The remainder. Gqibele kudala uba 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33. Abazange bambona ululeka lo abamaziyo abazange bambona kululeka lo abamaziyo abazange bambona abazange bambona abazange bambona abazange bambona abazange kumasandelona abamaziyo abazange bambona kumasandelo abamaziyo abazange sibambe abazange izocula benza niculela nonke ingxaki yamani kwazi ucula ne colleagues, let us congratulate this structure. I think more than just congratulating them, masiba xwayise with the burden that they have on their shoulders. It was a very nice contestation. I am hoping that zonke colleagues ezihleli apha phansi xa bezisonyulwa zibonile kuba people on the floor have confidence kubo by virtue of bana bonyulwe bazoma kule ndawo. So it means that they also have a responsibility to play. Aba bebonyuliweyo nje qha bangakhange bakwazi uba bayafikelela kwezi zitulo, there is some value that people are seeing kubo. So they need to work extra hard nabo ukuqiniseka bana what we want to achieve as the youth of public works is fully met. Londo ke bazawuyenza ngosebenza nesi structure and beyond. I think I like what my colleague from OTP said. Uthi asifuni umsebenzi karhulumente phaqha. Asifuni lungu le youth forum phaqha. Sifuna amalungu that will go out there, grind, bring the collaborative support that we need. Abazukwazi uza nabantu abazasupporta bodwa. Some of you will come with the initiatives, the NGOs, you will come with the businesses, you will come with the ideas to them. Their job is to take their ideas, enizanazo, sit with them, craft them, and make it a point that the ideas zenu move into fruition, zibonakala. So to this structure, ni tata over a youth forum yakwa public works. Niyithatha ngexesha apho abantwana namanina behlukunyezwa besifa. Niyithatha ngexesha apho youth unemployment iphezulu and is very rife. Niyithatha ngexesha apho abantu abatsha bebhizi nge-substance abuse. Niyithatha ngexesha apho abantu abatsha bezibulala. Niyithatha ngexesha apho abantu abatsha bengena direction. Niyithatha ngexesha apho abantu abatsha bengazazi uba bayaya noba bayabuya. So your responsibility is to provide direction. Your responsibility is to guide this collective, because esi si structure senu. Njengoba nise structure silapha phezulu, You've got a substructure that will be assisting you in reaching goals and objectives zenu. Let's make it a point that we make use of this structure. Let's make it a point that we change the situation yabantwana base Eastern Cape. Kweza programs ke sikuzo pha kwa buildings that not bandifaka kwa education that every day xa ndigqiba isikolo the one thing that I enjoy is ubona abantwana bephuma kwisikole esidala bengena kwisikole esitsha. I know that I am changing the lives of thousands of abantwana base Eastern Cape just by doing umsebenzi wami right ngendlela efanelekileyo. Nine responsibility and duty. Ningobhuti ngoku. Banye benu ningotata no mama njengoba nihleli apha. So you've got a responsibility and duty to izikolo zase Eastern Cape. Izikolo ezisezilokishini, izikolo ezisezilalini. Let's make sure that the footprint of public works gets there. Let's make sure that public works is known for what it does, but we go beyond the borders of public works. Let's partner with OTP, let's partner with NYDA, and let's make it a point that ubomi babantu base Eastern Cape buyachinja. I have seen that most CEOs ezihleli eJoburg zisuke Eastern Cape. We've seen the kind of leadership that we had in the country when Eastern Cape had presidential candidates that were running the country. You could see that the capacity ininzi up. This is the home of the legends, but we've been degenerated to a home of andiyazi noba sesizintoni na ngoku. But we've got the capacity here in this province. We've got the ability. Leadership imeme ihleli kuni. Kuthiwa ke pha kukho i-item ka-chairperson. Njengoba nonke ningena nje kodwa u-chairperson funeka respondile yena. Atsho kubana as uchairperson ethatha oluxanduva lungaka zithini vision ne goals zenu. Siyakupha ke lo xesha incoming chairperson. Kuphuma uchairperson ostrong ke apha. Ayibona mos ngihlala nginciba irifo kokoko. Ngihlala nginciba irifo kokoko kodwa nguchairperson othandazayo lo uphumayo. Ndibulela nje bakungena omnye othandazayo.
Thank you. Mr. Nkwenji's speech some says so there's no point of me talking. But ndifuna ubalisa ibali. Yazi Mr. D, kwakukho umsitho ofana nalo kwenye indawo. Kwaphela iwine. Yayi chaos. Yayi chaos. Iwine kuthiwa hey besicima fana ba isezenye round cwaka. Kwenziwa lento ibisenziwa nguMr. Nkwentsha kwathiwa makuphakanyiswe izandla. Bakhethwa abantu bezama apha ngaphambili kwathiwa can you excuse. Kwabe sekukhethwa lo kuthiwa nguchairperson. Kuyabuzwa ke ngokubana chairperson thini into? Yale ndoda fill them to the brim. Kamanzi. Mna what I will do Mr. Nkwentsha, I won't complicate my life in this stress and even depression. I'm saying to this group of very competent people, some of them I know them personally, fill them to the brim. Instruction yam from the chairperson. Uba uzothatha uhosepipe ugalele, it's up to you. Uba uzokha amanzi asepulini ugcwalise, it's up to you. But all I ask is that fill it to the brim. Izongenza isense ke sometimes ezinye instructions endizinikayo bana fill it to the brim. Sifuna wine thina wabusithi fill it to the brim. Yekele kuchairperson ke leyo. But you guys be as innovative as you can to make sure that the brim fills in record time. Uba uthi mhlambi masibizi truck yase Sarah Patman water tanker ize izogcwalisa these brims, that's up to you. My instruction is to say fill the brim. Kuthiwe izihlangu zikhulu esingena kuzo, but I'm glad that uchairperson enthatha kuye, it's someone that I've experienced leadership yakhe from a distance. Coming from a private sector, ndiqashwe mna kwa-public works last year ngo-December. Uphela kwale nyanga ndigqiba unyaka qha kwa-public works. So coming from a private sector, I had that attitude, the status quo esithi, oh yakwarhulumente wow. But I was so shocked when I arrived at Krisani, the group of people that I work with, professionals. Wow, even better than where I'm coming from. And yangoku le leadership endiyibone ku Mr. Nkwentsha inika isizathu sobana ndiyitshintshe la status quo ubana oh rhulumente. When Miss Gusha said induction conversation we were having, what Mr. Dudula, we welcome you guys to come and implement ezi zinto nisuka nazo phayana. So part of the things ezizawukwenzeka as implementwa Mr. Dudula izaba zizinto ezintsha. Perhaps maybe let's give them a chance. Sizibone uba ziyasebenza na okanye how do we amend them ndincediswa ngabasisi nababhuti. So it's a thank you so much from me and yeah kuzosetyenzwa.
Thank you, Chairperson. Isarapat manicele uz excuse ne kuba beleqela xesha lika 12 saying 1 ngoku sebe late kakhulu but sebe leqe ubaleka. Oh sicela bathatha pictures qala before bahambe sicela nje babe befota pha. Kodwa as babe fota mamucaluza nguwe osivalela session yanamhlanje sicela uze ngaphambili. Uzosivalela le nkomfa ibe mnandi kangaka.
Thank you very much, colleagues. We have come to the end of a very fruitful program, kule 2 days. Xa sikwesi stage, one can't help but erase all the challenges and difficulties we had when we were working towards this day. Firstly, I just want to congratulate the colleagues that have been elected to lead this forum. A huge task lies ahead, colleagues. And I believe that your peers trust you, that you will indeed deliver, and you will indeed change the lives of young people, both within and outside the department. Colleagues, it was not easy to put this session together. It is important for me to share this with you. Why I'm sharing it is because at the end of it, I want to reiterate what I said yesterday when I was opening, that in future gatherings of this nature, we want the leadership of this forum to be actively involved. There is a complaint that you raised, some of you, that you had difficulties with your program managers, either releasing you or availing resources for you to come here. It had to be like that because no proper communication was made with your program managers, including the head of the department, that one, we have a youth forum, and these are the members. 2, here is a program. It is one thing to then sit here and want to lay blame with program managers, but I think I need to share that with you. Up to the point when you came here, your program managers did not have a list of the people that form part of the structure in your regions. We had to intervene for the sake of the program. Going forward, masenze izinto ngendlela right, so that we are not finding ourselves at loggerheads with our supervisors and blaming them for our own failures. Immediately after this session, what needs to now happen is a proper memo, Mr. Mzananda, needs to be prepared for the office of the HOD, reflecting on the outcomes of this session and the nominations and elections that took place. so that we share that with the regions, with the program managers, so that when you approach them wanting to be released and assisted in your programs, they know who you are. That's number one. Number two, we need a report of this session. Chairperson, Mr. Mzananda, by end of next week, which is Thursday, we need a draft report. Do not even think, Ubana, the capturing that we were doing here is anything part of the report that we are going to produce. What we were capturing, we will use to beef up what you are going to submit. That report must come with a program of action. The program of action must also talk to the planning processes of the department, because the Youth Forum forms or is under the Special Programs Unit, and therefore your programs must find expression in the submissions that the Special Programs Unit makes in the broader departmental planning processes. You will not be able to implement anything outside of what the department has committed on. And fortunately, the things that you have reflected on here are already, most of them, happening in the department, but without your leadership as young people. If you talk, for instance, the issue of the setting aside of percentages, commitments, either procurement processes, employment, that is already there. That commitment is there. Go to the APP. But what now is needed is an activity that says, as this forum, we now go out, we activate those youth companies. We ensure that we work with SCM to go out and have open days, educate, capacitate those young people on the processes of SCM, how to fill in tender documents and so forth. The commitment is there in the department. The commitment for youth in SMS is there, but we are not achieving it. We've actually come to a point where we are declaring it an impracticality, because young people, okwangoku, kuthiwa they are up to the age of 35. We are having a challenge, not just to public works, we're having a challenge of having young people, that is people below 35 years, who are meeting the DPSA requirements for entry into SMS. We now need an advocacy program to say, how do we either relax those requirements, or what is it that we can do to ensure that young people with all the qualifications that they would have acquired and the experience, they are able to meet the requirements for entry into SMS. We do have young people, they have graduated, they've got postgrads, but because there's a certain number of years that you must have served with MMS for you to progress to SMS. We are having a challenge in there. So we would like to hear you engaging on this matter about how do we promote the issue of young people progressing to SMS. Because you'll find that, I think at this stage, Spokas, where are we sitting? But we are very far below with youth in SMS. Even with the new organizational structure, the commitment that the department has made insofar as the implementation of the new organizational structure is to try and meet the equity targets. But as things stand with the requirements, we may still not be able to have young people in the required numbers within SMS. As I indicated earlier on that the issues that you are raising here, the programs that you are going to be embarking on in your program of action are already commitments of the department. The issues of bursaries. You've got Mr. Dingwayo driving the length and breadth of this province, going into the deep rural areas to carry out career expos. Fit yourselves into that program. Diversify that program. At some point we talked in the discussions, there was a reflection on satisfaction, young people being satisfied by the department. We are in the process of those user satisfaction surveys, and one question that needs to be asked, ibinjani participation yethu as young people with our surveys? How much did we engage young people and encourage them, both internally and externally, to participate such that the department, even now, you understanding obana as young people, how do you feel about the way the department is doing things? But then, colleagues, as because sonke sifuna ukugoduka, but as I've indicated, congratulations to the colleagues that have been elected. As you all know, that special programs is under the Office Executive Support, of which I'm heading that section. Somebody sitting at the corner already knows that my door is always open. And this but indeed, colleagues, my door is always open. I take calls on weekends, I take calls in the evenings, but I don't take calls where a person is influenced by other things that may make the conversation not to be bearable. But what I'm trying to emphasize, colleagues, is that umnyango officini ka-HOD uhlala uvuliwe. We are ready to assist. Fortunately, the colleague that I work with, Usisi Nomalungelo, I thank God for her because sishera izinto, i-vision yethu iyafana, asisebenzi nge-titles. You can just say Nonkonzo is Director Executive Support, Nomalungelo is Chief Director Operations, but asisebenzi kanjalo, colleagues. Sifuna nje ukuphusha umsebenzi. So please do approach our offices as colleagues. Sincedisane, sisebenzisane. Even this report, it is deliberate, the chairperson, that I'm saying, if first draft, but I know Sis Lungi was taking notes, I was taking notes, I've asked other colleagues to assist to take notes, but we want to input kwinto ezanani. Because isiqhelo sifuna ibe sesokubana niyazenzela. But most importantly, first thing that I would like to see delivered on my desk on Monday for ukubana ingene ku-HOD is a memo, even before the report itself, is a memo with all the names zabantu who are leading the forum, both at head office and at regions, so that even before conclude anything, but if there are activities that are taking place, for instance, singena kwi 16 days of activism now, you are going to want to participate in that because we've spoken a lot about GPV. You are going to want to participate in those as the forum, but if you are not known formally by the department, you have since been elected and you are in office, it's going to be very difficult to assist you. So please, colleagues, make sure we do get that memo on Monday. Thank you very much. May you all travel safe back home, and may you be the light that you have all echoed Mr. Nkwencho's words, that you want to be in the communities where you come from. May God help you, that your light shines bright in your communities, and through you, a better life is experienced, and everyone has a good experience of the democratic experience of this country through yourselves. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you to the colleagues. Besoundi nisiphathe kahle kakhulu. Cha inye into endingayithandanga colleagues, usivimbe into emandi kakhulu labhuti. Xa ephinda eqeshwa, ndicela nimcele eze nalanto suzimela usivimbe into that colleague. Xa ninemicimbi, please do invite mandimazi igama lakhe but andambona komnye umcimbi. Uvuthela into lanto ivuthelayo. Lanto ndizathi liqilongo ke mna ke, but uvuthela lanto and he has a skill man of making umcimbi ube mhle ube sezingeni. So to whoever invited these colleagues babazoba lapha, thank you very much. Nisiphathe kakuhle kakhulu. Thank you very much guys.